What's up, guys? Regiment in this podcast is brought to you by G Fuel, the ultimate energy drink for gamers. G Fuel uses a special blend of vitamins, antioxidants, and other natural caffeine resources to keep you from having those jitters or even that crash that you normally would have from other energy drink brands. So whether you're having a long gaming session or you're just having a long day and need a pick-me-up, G Fuel definitely has you covered. G Fuel also has a wide array of flavors to choose from. But if you don't know what flavor you want to try, they also sell variety packs on their website, and they even come with a cool shaker. So head on over to gfuel.com and use promo code REGIMENT at checkout to get up to 30% off. That is REGIMENT, promo code REGIMENT down here at checkout to get up to 30% off. I can't tell you how many fucking Joes I had under me that I'm like, how are you not dead?
I literally had a private who turned the corner and ran into Sergeant Major. Turns the corner, runs into him, tells him to watch where he's going, and he's just like standing there going like I'm wearing my rank today, right? Like he knows who he's talking to.
Oh my God.
And I hear that and I'm like, no. And I turn the corner to hear him in a very clear and concise voice. The Sergeant Major goes, "Why do you think you're down there, huh? Give me a good reason why you think you're down there." And he stops doing push-ups, stands up, looks him in the eye and goes, "Why? I just think you're a fucking racist." Oh
No.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. And he just looked at me, and I'm like,
I don't know what to do.
Knowing you're about to get fucked up, forehead
Sergeant
dumbass.
Major, and he's just like, "Is he with you?" And I'm like,
Yeah. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Smokepit podcast, and we're joined with another guest today, Grant, or also known as Your Narrator. If you've seen him, you've seen him on YouTube. He has a lot of videos. And why do they call you Your Narrator? Well, why do you call yourself that?
It's just the voice.
I figured it was the voice.
Yeah, I learned from I wanted to be a voice actor type kid when I was little, and I grew up on a farm, so I just did my own voices because I didn't have any friends. So I would make my own stories and make.
It's okay. We still don't have friends. So
yeah, honestly.
Where are you from?
I feel that. Originally from California.
From California, farm in California.
Yeah.
I think farm.
it sounds like you're not there anymore.
Whenever I hear farm, I think Illinois, Indiana, or Wisconsin.
Yeah, no, I was I had an almond farm in Northern California.
You make almond milk and everything, huh?
I was out there making that nut juice.
Oh yeah, which was super ironic because like the moment I was born, my grandpa and my uncle came running into the into the hospital, and they were like, "Let me see my grandson and nephew," and they were just coated in almond dust because it's harvest. And I'm like, I'm just born into the world, and they were like, "Let me see him," and they started picking me up, just absolutely coated in it, and so I became allergic to almond dust.
No,
it's ironic because
you take over the farm.
You used to be coated in their nut juice.
Yeah,
essentially.
So you being in growing up pretty much on an almond farm, like where's the tit on the almond for the milk?
Dude, fuck if I know.
I still prefer it.
Like I've tried to find it. To this day, can't find the tit.
So what did your uncle and grandpa say when you were born and became allergic to almonds?
So when I was a kid, I was totally fine. I would run around the holler. I would be totally okay. But then like as soon as I get to like a teenager and almond dust touch my skin, like my whole arm would just break out in hives, and it was bad. So they were like, "Well, I guess you can't take over the farm anymore." But then it was like that was even more pressure because now I didn't have like a fallback plan, like after school. And
you
shit.
could still run the farm without actually working on it, couldn't you?
Technically I could, but it would be like desk stuff, and like if I was gonna be able to run the farm, like I wanted to be like out there and actually like hands-on, learn how everything works, and know how to operate everything. And if I couldn't be out there, there was no point, especially if I was getting like super sick and sneezy and my arms would be like, every day.
So is that why you joined the army? It's because you're like, well, I guess farm work ain't it.
You pretty much. I was 18, and right after I graduated high school, I was like, I have no idea what I want to do as far as an adult, but I know I'm 18, so I'm no longer my mom's problem. Like,
I am an adult now.
I am an adult. So I was like, I looked at my mom. I'm like, eventually I want to get an education for college and shit. You're not paying for that. If anything from now on that needs to get done, I'm going to pay for it, and I'm going to go earn it the way I know how, because my father was a Marine. So I was like, Army sounds good. So I did that. And then that gave me 4 years to figure out what exactly I wanted to do, you know, as an adult.
What was your MOS?
I was a 19 Delta. I was a Cav Scout.
You motherfucker.
Yeah,
I was a 13 Fox.
Oh shit!
I was a fister. Yeah.
There you go.
Y'all wish you were us.
You were the cooler version of me.
Yeah, we got to do a lot of cool shit.
Yeah.
So why the Army?
Mainly because at first when I walked in there, they were like, you know, they were like, oh, we have all kinds of different jobs and opportunities, and like obviously the Marines. I was like, oh, okay, my dad was a Marine, and then I couldn't do pull-ups, and I was like, well, fuck, they love their pull-ups. So then I looked at the Navy, and I was like, I don't like living on a boat, so that's out. I went into the Air Force and a recruiter, and they were like, how smart are you? And I'm like, not very.
They're very picky. They're very
I'm just
picky.
impressed that they were in the office. Shit.
Yeah, right. But it was, so after that I was like, well, I'm not gonna do Coast Guard, and that's where sharks live. So I was like, Army it is. And I was looking at like all the different jobs and shit. I was going to look at like the full list, and then my dumb 18-year-old self walked in there, and the recruiter was like, oh, this kid's an idiot. I got this. He's like, how would you like to be Batman? I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to be Batman.
We're
So
getting our numbers today, boys.
You mean he sold
like,
sold Cav Scout as being one of the best jobs?
Yeah.
That's what
man, you were
because he showed me a fucking SF video.
Oh my god, he did
And
not.
and he said it was fucking he said it was Cav Scouts. He showed me like going over the hills in a doom buggy with a 50 cal and shit, and I'm like,
So
wow.
shit you would never actually do.
Yeah, just shit that I was like, man, that looks, I'm super great. This is gonna be awesome to do. And then meanwhile, as soon as I got to fucking Vilsec, it was just loading and unloading Connex.
Oh, you were in Vilsec. I was in Italy.
Yeah.
I was in Italy with the 173rd.
Oh, there you go.
So I know all about Vilsec. So you were in Graf.
Nope.
Oh, not Graf. You were close to.
I was next to Graf.
Next to
next
to Graf.
Shittier version to Graf.
Yeah, I remember.
When were you in?
I was in from 2013 to 2017.
So you were there. You were in Vilsec when I was in Europe. So do you remember Operation?
About the same time.
You remember Operation Saber Junction?
Yep.
When the Romanians died.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was part of the fucking NATO team.
Hell yeah, dude. I remember First Sergeant screaming at us, and I'm like, why are you yelling at us? You gotta combat lock your doors. And I'm like, we weren't even with these guys. Why are you yelling at us? And it was that whole story was funny because they were in like that black area where they couldn't, where you're not supposed to be, and they were trying to do a U-turn on a mountain and rolled. And then like a bunch of them died, and it's just like, what the fuck, man? And then so I take it you were there during the heavy drop that went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
When the Humvees burned in on that heavy drop.
Yeah. Yep. I heard about that shit.
I remember watching it, and in the first thing that came to my mind when because it happened right after I got out. So I got out in 2016, and I remember watching that happen, and I was like, the rigger did that on purpose. Because, I mean, when you get one, okay, something went wrong. When you get three in a row like that. So for those that don't know, basically what it was, like there was a heavy drop in, was it in Graf or in Hohenfels?
Hohenfels, I believe.
So they were doing a heavy drop. They were dropping some Humvees and shit in, and 3 in a row, the chutes separated from the actual like rigging.
So just dropping fucking vehicles in the sky.
like just 3 Humvees
just like bombs,
and they just literally like burned in and smashed into the ground, and then it was all on camera. And like when the investigation started, they were trying to charge the dude that was recording.
Of course.
And they're like,
because he got the truth.
He's like, they're like, why are you charging me for this? I'm not even a parachute rigger. I was just on the drop zone watching and recording it. and they wanted to charge him in conjunction with the rigger that they were charging. And it was just like, because, the military likes to do stupid shit like that.
Because he's got evidence. He can expose the truth. And when they try to tell their bullshit lies, oh, it's a training accident.
And the first thing that came to my mind was like, the rigger did that on purpose because the op tempo through those years, because of Ukraine and shit, was so fucking high that we were just going to Hohenfels Graph, Baltics, Hohenfels Graph, Hohenfels Graph. And I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. And the riggers were tired of just all these airborne operations, these airfield seizures that we were doing. So they decided, you know what, why don't we just stop the training for a second? And then
let's just take a break.
Now the guy's in Fort Leavenworth, so I hope it was worth it, buddy. But so yeah, you were
brother.
So were you working as Op 4? Or no, you weren't, because you weren't actually stationed with the Op 4, were you?
So I shammed my way out of every Hohenfels.
You're kidding me. How?
For the 4 years I was there, I got out of every Hohenfels.
Oh my God, dude. Really?
So the first year, when they were like, hey, Hohenfels is doing shit, they were like, hey, you can't go because you have a school to do. And I was like, done. Too easy.
No.
Did that. Second year, they got me certified for civilian driving, so get the license and everything, so I can drive around like fucking, first sergeant, sergeant majors, all that bullshit, and like little vans.
Mm-hmm.
So
chauffeur
in the Govies.
Yeah, literally became a chauffeur. So I would go to and from Hohenfels, but I'd never actually participated. So I was like, well, that's cool. And then the what was it? And then the last year, I literally was in a thing with my NCO who, I'll just say it's fine. He, bad shit happened to him. He hung himself in his room.
Oh man.
But before that, he was, because pretty much long story short, he was getting a divorce. His wife was leaving him. She was taking the kids, the dogs. And I looked really identical, like a grown up version of his son. So when he would see me at work, he would just he would just get angry, and it would remind him of that. So he would just like fucking pick on me like all the time. So I went to, the ever so good therapist, quote unquote, on base, which is just some captain going, "Did you know we're all related because we used to be cavemen?" I'm like, shut up.
What?
I feel like that's the difference between Army medical and like any other branches medical.
Yeah, no, it was stupid. But the guy tried to do like that stuff and like could be like, "Oh, you're fine, yeah." And I was like, "Listen, sir, I'm gonna keep it $150 with you. If I have to go to Hohenfels on this truck, because I'm the 50 gunner at this point, if I have to go there and stay in that truck with this man for 2 months, I'm just saying the mount is really, really loose. So the barrel might swing his direction very fast."
Accidents happen every day.
Accidents happens every day. And
all
he's
the
like,
time.
"You shouldn't go." And I'm like, okay.
This is on you. Just want you to know.
Give me a piece of paper, because I was dead ass. Like it was bad. So I didn't go to that one. And then the last Hohenfels was when I was leaving. So I literally got my DD-214 and I showed it to him and I'm like, have fun, guys.
Kiss my ass.
I'll never forget my last graph. We were working in conjunction with 2CR, and the squadron commander of 2CR, I don't remember his name, but he had a giggle for some reason. He was like, like when he would talk, he would just kind of do.
Oh fuck!
You know who I'm talking about, don't you?
Yes, because I was 4-2 CR.
So
fuck, what was his name?
And it was like 115 degrees for like the first half of the training. And our company was, for some reason, our company commander was like, we're going to go to Grafenwehr and train with these guys at 2CR as an attachment. And I'm like, okay. We get there. They had no like mission for us. So all they made us do was walk everywhere.
Yep.
Meanwhile, all their guys were getting like airlifted or convoyed, and we had to fucking ruck everywhere. We had dudes heat catting. We had to get medevac guys out because two of them got a heat stroke. And then a storm was rolling in, and they had some they had some Chinooks picking people up to transfer them over to the fob. And of course, our company was the last one to get picked up, and they never came. And a storm rolled in. The SCO comes up, and he's just like, "Yeah, guys, the birds aren't coming back because of the storm. So just kind of hunker down and just remember, skin's water resistant." Like that. He had that little giggle, and my company commander was just like, "Man, this motherfucker." And I was like, "Oh my God." And I remember the first time I heard it, it was during a fucking rock drill.
And we were the commander of Nelson from The Simpsons.
It was just like, but it was like a tick, right? So it wasn't like he was giggling at anything. It was a tick. So he would do it it would happen at the most absolute inopportune moments. And during a rock drill, it would happen. And I was watching the rock drill because I was like, going over a fire support plan. Yeah. And I was with my fire support officer and NCO, and I was just like, I'm going to the rock drill, and I hear it, and I'm like, and I started looking around, see if anybody reacts to this. I'm like, did I just hear that, or did everybody hear that? And then he did it again, and I looked over at my phys out. I was like, "Sir, did you hear that?" And he's like, "Yeah, just let him do it." And I was like, "Okay."
See, that's the funniest shit, because if that can only happen with someone of that rank, where they're so high that no one's gonna say shit. They're just gonna be like, "Did you hear that shit?"
But it would always happen when he was giving us fucking bad news. That was
like, it's almost creepy.
That was the worst part. Is like the little tick would happen when he was telling us something bad. Like, guess what? Yep. You guys are on your own. There's a storm coming in, and you're gonna get wet. And it's like, fucking shit. But you know who I'm talking about, don't you?
It's like a horror movie.
And yeah, that was my last grab. That one was the worst one I was on, because it went from 115 degrees every single day, because you were there. You know how hot it was. And then the temperature dropped to like 40 degrees during that training. So we had no cold weather or anything. We had some wet weather shit, but it didn't matter. Like, the rain came, and it didn't stop for the rest of the training. And we were all wet and cold, and and we were just like, fuck, dude. I was using trash bags to kind of stay somewhat dry.
Yeah. We had one motherfucker named Jones. Cool dude, but god damn it, every single time we would leave the fob, he'd just be like, "Man, I really hope it doesn't rain today."
Oh my God.
That's just like that.
That's like
that Nico Ortiz TikTok where he's like, "Shut the fuck up. Oh my God. We got to go to the company."
That's just as bad as like being at a fucking working in a hospital or working police dispatch said, "It's really quiet today."
Yup, exactly.
You son of a bitch.
And it's just like, why would you do that? Because I used to work security, and a guy would say like, "It's pretty quiet today." I'm like, "Why did you say that?" And then it got busy immediately. And he's like, "I don't understand what the big deal is." I'm like, "You tempt fate, and fate will answer. I promise you." And
I tell all of my junior corpsmen that. Like, if they're like, "Oh, it's been pretty quiet today. There's not a lot of patients." You're seeing every patient that comes in from the rest of the day. It's funny
because it's like it's true. You tempt fate, and fate will respond. And you gotta. There was a code word we would say about the weather. Bob's feeling really good today when we're talking about how nice it is. We're like, I hope Bob doesn't get upset. And we were talking about the weather. We didn't want to say the weather's nice today. And in Germany, it's weird. I remember being in an Apache live fire and like doing a live fire exercise, doing like call for fire with the Apaches. And it was June. And it was a nice sunny day, and one cloud came, and the temperature dropped, and it started snowing.
Yep.
And I'm like, what the fuck's happening right now, man?
Mother Nature was a cruel fucking mistress over in Germany, bro.
It's the same in Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's just, oh, look, a little cloud. And then
it's just shit that whole time. Yeah, that training operation was fucking miserable. So you did one enlistment and you were done, huh?
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
Oh.
What were you saying, Doc? Go ahead.
Now we made it awkward. Were you doing YouTube while you were in?
Sometimes. I haven't really done an actual video about like my whole background story. I've thought about doing something like that eventually, because obviously, like, we all have really weird fucking stories that we can recall from military time.
It usually stems off of, I had a plan when I got out, and that plan failed.
Pretty much, yeah. But Yeah, just an easier thing is like I just do military TikToks and then I just rant about ruck marching. Oh, my back hurts.
Yep.
So
when you start getting big on YouTube?
So we kind of got big towards the beginning, which was really weird because usually that doesn't happen.
No, that does not happen.
We were, and I tell this to everybody, we were literally at the right place at the right time because we were a new group of content creators. So it's a new group. So everyone's like, "Ooh, who are these guys?" As well as VR was a brand new thing, and everyone was super excited about it. So we started doing just all VR shit, and because of that, all those in tandem. Plus, we had 2 Australians, someone from Florida, a Mexican, and a veteran, all in like one area. So we were hitting like a lot of boxes,
Okay.
all over YouTube. So as soon as that happened, we started getting more and more stuff like that, and so it just kind of like lifted us up. But
When did you start?
we started about 3.5 years ago.
So right
So
around COVID.
around COVID time.
Yeah, literally COVID was like, I know COVID sucked. COVID was the best thing for content creators though.
It was.
Absolutely.
It was.
100%.
It literally forced our audience to stay indoors and watch our content.
I tried doing so I started my podcast in 2019 and like at the beginning of 2019.
Yeah.
And COVID kind of killed the podcast for a bit because we didn't do the virtual thing, didn't know how to do the virtual thing. All of our shit was always in person, and I started getting more equipment for it and stuff to make it better and actually start doing videos. And then COVID happened, and then all my friends were like, I don't want to even leave. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. So I started streaming.
Come on.
I started streaming, and then I started learning about like different things with streaming and networking. So my Twitch grew, but the podcast didn't grow. So, and now after like having Doc on, like I actually started diving into the YouTube world, and now I'm using TubeBuddy, which is like the SEO, because I'm still learning SEO. Like I really don't know shit about it. So I figured you learned about a lot of SEO in your time doing this, huh?
A little bit, yeah. And that is the cool thing about doing shit like this, where like every day there's either like a new program or like something new out there like that can benefit you in one way or another. Like Photoshop just got the AI generator shit.
We've been fucking with it.
Crazy. It's nuts.
I've seen it.
Like it's awesome.
Some of the shit that Photoshop AI can do is, I saw like an example on TikTok of somebody editing. It was like an editing AI editor of a wedding photo where they had the whole wedding party, including the kids and shit, in the photo. And they told the AI to edit everybody out, change the background to a beach, and then change the outfits that the couple were wearing, and it did it seamlessly.
Yeah.
So they went from being like in like kind of like a field where there's forest around them and the whole wedding party to editing out everybody in the photo besides the bride and groom and changing the scenery and then changing the bride's dress from a wedding dress to a blue beach dress, and the husband's tux was just like beach wear.
Yep.
And it looked like that's how the photo was taken. And
it's crazy how it looks so real too.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
Scary as well.
Oh yeah, no, like the AI is getting,
So did you go?
It's
You
becoming a
gone to
problem.
school for any of this, or you just kind of been getting going?
So yeah, right after I got out, I was like, all right, well, I gotta learn what I want to do because I want to do either filmmaking or voice acting. So I went to college for just the Art Institute, before the controversy happened. But I went to that in California. I did that for 2 years because I was trying to get my bachelor's. Then the school closed down due to circumstances.
The Mad Panda.
And then, was that?
The Mad Panda. I call it the Mad Panda.
So I was like, they were either like, okay, well, you can either sign right here, we'll give you $5,000 and say, sorry, you can't finish your thing, and then you can go somewhere else, or you can take your credits and you just have to go to one of the remaining art institutes. And I was like, I'm in California, where's the closest one? They're like, Dallas. So I was like, guess I'm moving to Dallas.
Probably the best thing you've ever. Did you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Probably the best.
I mean,
thing
Texas
you could
is
ever have
far
done.
better, in my opinion.
No, it 100%. Like, especially like as soon as I got in and I looked at gas prices, I was like, ooh.
They didn't give
Texas
you a
just
remote
makes
option
sense to me.
They didn't give you remote options.
Mm-mm.
Really, you would think that with classes like that for like voice acting and stuff, remote would be the best.
So I was doing filmmaking.
Oh yeah,
because I
okay.
knew filmmaking would lead into voice acting. And trying to do filmmaking online was damn near impossible.
So have you finished already?
I literally got 1 semester away from graduating with a bachelor's, and then COVID hit and shut the school down.
Damn.
Jesus.
So that's when I started doing YouTube, and then YouTube took off. So now, like, occasionally I still get fucking like emails or texts going like, "Hey, it's the Art Institute. You got 1 more semester, but like, in order to get my bachelor's, I have to technically go back to school, do some classes, and I have to do an entire senior project, which is I have to make a movie that's like at least 15 minutes long." And I'm like, why would I do that
This is dumb.
to get a degree that I'm not going to use?
I mean, in all honesty, though, if you think about it, you're doing what technically school should kind of be for. Like, you went to learn some shit. You're applying what you fucking learned, among other things. Then the degree like that says that you did this, doesn't fucking matter. You're still applying the skills that you paid for and did.
That's exactly what I told my mom when I told her I was dropping, and she was like, oh, and freaking out. But
until she saw your YouTube numbers, and she's like, "Oh, okay."
yeah. And then I invited her out to my house, and she was like, "Oh, okay, all right, I'm so proud of you."
I feel like that's always the reaction for people whenever you tell them that like you're a content creator or you do stuff on YouTube, and they're like, "Oh, okay, you're just like, a lazy piece of shit."
Yeah.
Until they find out how much fucking money you made, they're like, "Oh, okay, all right.
Oh, so this is a ludicrous business. I see. Okay.
How can I get money out of you here?" I feel like that's what they're always thinking after that.
That's my favorite one is when I have told like family members and shit, and then they're like, "Oh, cool. So how do I start a channel?" Or, "Hey, maybe I should come on your channel. I'm pretty funny." And I'm like,
right, yeah.
I don't fucking talk to you.
That's
like the only time I talk to you is at family gatherings, and that's like maybe once a year.
I've had that same fucking thing where it's just like, "Can I be a guest on your podcast?" I'm like, "Do you know anything about gaming?" No. So why would I have you a guest?
Have you ever watched an episode?
Why would I bring you on?
Have you ever seen an episode? No.
That's the other thing. It's just like they want to be there, and it's like, for what though? I mean, like, what can you, what can you bring to that episode that would kind of like, make
it's like
it
not
something.
to sound like a dick, but what exactly are you bringing to the table?
Exactly. Yeah.
And other than being a relative.
And like that's why it's like when it comes to not even just on this podcast, but mine, like when it comes to guests, my sister does some cool shit. She's a guitar tech and she tours sometimes, and she's worked with Motley Crue and stuff, and she's like, "I want to be a guest." And I'm like, "Okay, what do you know about gaming?" She's like, "Well, nothing, but I can just sit there and do shrooms and it'd be fun." And I'm like, "That would be fun, yes, but it's like that doesn't go with the demographic of what we're doing,
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's like, and and when it comes to like gaming stuff, it's like when we talk about gaming stuff to somebody, do you want it's okay to talk if a person doesn't know but are interested. That's different than when a person doesn't know but also isn't interested. They're like, because they don't care about what you're telling them, so they have nothing to like relay, and in response to that topic. So it's like, okay, so what the fuck am I talking to you about this for?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you're our second guest for the Regiment podcast.
Woo.
Yeah, our first guest.
The first one was Out of Regs.
Oh, nice.
And
we're gonna have
my brain just completely lost where I was going with this.
Well, were you talking about like when it comes to getting guests?
Oh, yeah. So I mean, he is a big video game person. He's in Regiment and makes funny content, but the news aspect, he doesn't really follow gaming news like how me and Brock nerd out on. So he doesn't necessarily know that aspect, but he still bring something to the table.
He has input in his engagement,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So it's like one of those
'Cause
things where you
he
can
still
actually talk to him. about
knows about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely a lot easier to, you know, like bring someone on that is will actually be engaged and like knows what you're talking about rather than just like, you know, oh yeah, video games.
And it's good for us too, because we're in the process of rebranding the podcast to make it more reflect how the podcast truly is.
There
But
you go.
with other veterans, I mean, it just comes natural.
Oh yeah.
So what got you into regiment? How'd you find out about it?
Sorry, you had a yawn. So I heard about regiment literally just on just scrolling through Twitter. I was
Okay.
literally just scrolling through shit, and then I saw regiment going like, "Oh, hey, this is a thing for veterans and stuff like that." And I actually think someone in regiment, I think Chris actually like commented on one of my stuff, and was like, "Hey, check this out as well." So that kept in the back of my head, and so I just joined it, and I was like, "Oh, it's just an entire Discord of freaking servicemen and women and veterans and shit." So I'm like, I can actually be nerdy and also talk about bullshit experiences. This is great.
Yes.
How long have you been in?
As like in the regiment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably about a month and a half.
Okay, so you're pretty new.
Yeah.
You're a fresh newbie.
Relatively new, but I was like, yeah, month and a half,
Fucking
2 months,
boots.
yeah. I know, right?
Do you have a jersey yet?
I do, yeah. It's currently in the washer right now because I wore it at DreamHack.
Oh, you were out there?
Yeah.
How was it?
Honestly, it was okay. It was pretty good. I've never been to a DreamHack before, so like my brain immediately thought like it was gonna be like Comic-Con or like PAX and shit like that. And then when I got there, I was like, oh, this is just like the world's biggest LAN party with like a couple shops here and there and stuff like that.
I've never been to a convention, so I can't relate. I can't relate. I want to, but like it's all these conventions are happening when I'm in the middle of shit. So like TwitchCon's going to be happening in October. I'm going to Norway in October. So
well, I mean that's fucking cool as shit though.
I know. I mean, I'm going to be doing some cool shit, but I've always wanted to go to these conventions, you know? DreamHack, PAX, fucking TwitchCon. Maybe not so much TwitchCon anymore, but at one point TwitchCon, Comic-Con for sure, and you know,
the San Diego one particularly.
Yeah, the San Diego one. Well, now it's in Vegas this year.
That's because everybody's moving out of California because of taxes and shit.
Because it sucks.
California
It does.
does.
It really
suck.
does.
Like
I've actually heard that people are coming into Texas from California.
They need to
and
stop.
They're ruining Texas because they're bringing things that they're bringing things that they're running away from. Like that doesn't make sense.
Yep.
Don't bring over what you're trying to get away from.
See, you left because your education option was there.
Yeah.
So your reason for leaving was it made sense for you to do it. But a lot of these people that are moving from California to Texas are the ones that are just like, Texas seems better than here. I want to move to a better place than California, but also want to live California life in Texas.
So stupid. Like
California life is not that great.
It's not. And then it literally all of a sudden, because there's already been talk that like Austin's prices are going up, the gas is going up over there, a place for living's going up, and all these people are freaking out, going like, like all the people who moved there from California are like, we moved here because we thought it was better. What's happening? It's like you're voting the same as you did in California, and you're trying to change it into California.
But to all of our California listeners, we still love you.
Your state sucks.
Yeah, no, I grew up from California. I would say hella sometimes. I get it. All right. However, state's dumb.
State is dumb.
You're allowed to live there. You're allowed to like it. You're just, you're also allowed to be wrong.
And it sucks because like I live in Wisconsin, and me and my wife were talking about selling our house and moving to Texas. And I talked to my real estate agent because I'm like, Texas seems, because like me getting into software development, Austin's a pretty good tech area.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, there's a lot of opportunities for careers in the tech field down in Texas. Mm-hmm. And I talked to my real estate agent, and I was like, hey, the market looks pretty good to sell a house. What's it like buying a house in Texas right now? And she's like, you're not going to get anything. And she's like, even though that your house right now you could sell your house for over $100,000 of what it's worth and come out with a fat profit. Finding another property down there is gonna be hard. She said she has clients that have a budget of like $500,000 and they still can't find a house for the mere fact that people are. I had something like this similar when I bought my house, where people were moving up from Illinois to Wisconsin because the property value is better. Property taxes are cheaper, and all the other benefits of living up here compared to Illinois. And when I was looking for a house, I found several houses that I loved, and I would put an offer, and the offer would get outbid by somebody from Illinois coming in dropping like $50,000 over asking price cash.
That's literally what's been happening in Texas.
Yeah, I know. It's the same situation.
Everybody hates Californians here
because they have money to do that, and it's driving the prices up.
Yep.
Same thing happened up here.
Yeah,
I got
everyone's
lucky.
freaking out about it.
I got lucky with my house. Like, it was an older couple that was just, they didn't want to put it on the market, but they wanted to sell it. They wanted to sell it private with a real estate agent who happened to be my real estate agent. The house was very, very low maintenance. Had new furnace put in, has a backup generator, new sump pump, relatively new roof and a hot water heater, low maintenance and stuff. And I mean, it's small, but it's, it was like a good starter home and it was within my budget. And they took my offer right away because they wanted to get rid of it. So I got lucky with that because I was looking for over a year for a house and I was having this same issue. And now Texas, I want, as much as I want to move to Texas, I don't even think it's going to be an option anymore because of the way the prices and shit are going up.
It really depends on where you want to move. Like if you're trying to go to Austin, you would probably have to look like just outside the city limits of Austin, to be fair, if you wanted to do that. There would be homes out there, but then again, like I will tell you, like Austin is a pretty place to visit. But living there, the traffic is terrible.
I don't like city life anyway. So if I were to get a house, it would be like way out in a county somewhere, away from much of like small town living, but nice houses.
I'm a suburb guy myself.
If you do that, then there might be some options. Like, because a lot of people are trying to go to Austin, like to be in the city and like do city life shit. And that's what Californians love. Like they love LA, they love being in the city and blah, blah, blah. So if you look on the outskirts, it's possible.
I love country living. Like I want a house it's in an area where our neighbors aren't close, decent amount of property, no concrete jungle, like close enough to go visit the city, but far enough away to not be in the city, like avoiding the traffic and shit. Yeah,
I'm in a spot where unfortunately I'm in a freaking HOA, but
ew.
I know, but again, like you said, like trying to find a good spot, like a good home and a good spot, that's also like, taken care of and also have a little bit of land. Like it is trying to find all of those boxes is like pretty hard.
Yeah, it's super hard.
Yeah. So, but I found like a nice place. My neighbors are really nice. I have an acre for a backyard, so it's like a good size. So it's like it's nice, And if I need to go into town, it's like a 10-minute drive. So,
hell yeah.
I love that.
Let's start going over our topics so we can introduce you to the Way of the Regiment podcast.
You mean how I can't read? So
and get that everybody knows that though.
So for those that are wondering what our topics are, so we're going to be talking about a couple of these veterans on here. One is some lady who says money isn't everything, and she still misses the Army despite making lots of money after getting out.
I wonder what on.
She's a TikToker, and
from these pictures, I feel like there's more that she's doing.
It seems like that's more than what she's doing. She might be doing some OnlyFans shit, but apparently she's saying
fans of the only.
She's. It appears from the article that she's falling under the same mentality that a lot of us have when we left, and that's I kind of miss it, and maybe I should go back because I made that fucking mistake and went into the National Guard when I got out. I was out for a year and I went back, and then I was like, this is not what I thought it was going to be.
It's the institutionalized. It's like the Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah,
when we get out, we're like, no, just send me back. Just put me back in prison.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, literally all the times you were bad, but you were just like, I'll do anything if I could just get out of PT today. And then you're out and you're like, I want to go run.
Send me
And
back
you're
to
like,
all the bullshit. No,
It's
send me
weird
back to the
because
people. Fuck the bullshit.
It's weird because when you get out, you tend to forget about the shit that made you leave in the first place.
Yup.
All of it.
And you just remember the good things. And then when you get back in, there's a lot of reminders of why you left. So,
Yeah. Literally all of my buddies are in that same boat where, like, heaven forbid we start that, like, they're just like, you know what, maybe I could go back and, you know, maybe I could, and we just don't you do it.
yeah, I tell them all the same thing.
Here are all the reasons why you left.
I'm the active duty side of this podcast. I've been in for 13 years. So
You're in the Navy,
I get
though.
to.
Oh, well, now you're past the 50% mark. Now you've got a couple years left till you retire.
Yeah,
you're at the point where
it's a sour 7 years, though.
Oh, no, it's going to be a sour 7 years, 100%.
So the other article is that a soldier posts anti-army video on Memorial Day, but her posts are quote unquote do not represent the DoD.
What's with y'all soldiers, man?
I don't know, man. Lately, like the last few times has been the Air National Guard doing super stupid shit, like trying to hire a hitman.
But that makes sense.
Leaking documents, shit like that. Now the Army's doing it. And last week it was the Marine Corps getting their asses kicked by 13-year-olds. And then, yeah. So now it's the
But
Army.
nobody's surprised when the Marine Corps does stupid shit, though.
No, nobody's surprised.
Yeah, no. They're eating crayons and
it's more like, ooh, what'd they do this time?
Yeah, always. What weapon did they lose?
yeah. But now the Army's falling into that fucking category.
See, no, I think the Army does it. You guys just do it more covertly. You guys you get overshadowed by the stupidity of the Marines, where like y'all stupidity is more normal and it just gets pushed by the wayside.
Yeah.
The Navy, we're just out here sucking dick and
Just
doing Navy things.
Boats.
There are no airborne rangers in the Navy, though. We're going to kind of breeze and touch on some highlights from Summer Games Fest, which just happened. I think, was it yesterday?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Sure.
I think it was yesterday.
I want to say June 8th, so 2 days ago.
Oh, wow. 2 days ago. Holy fuck.
Pal World. I don't know what this is, but it looks like a Pokemon ripoff.
It was announced at Summer Game Fest.
It was announced.
It's just,
yeah. So,
it's fucking hilarious.
So they announced this at Summer Games Fest, and it looks like just another Pokemon game. In fact, a lot of the monsters in this, whoa, are identical to Pokemon.
They're like copy and fucking paste.
These are Pokemon. This is crazy. We'll dive into that.
I'll find the reveal trailer for it while you're going through.
So after that, we're gonna talk about we're gonna touch on. So we've been doing this recurring thing called 159 Reasons Why You Shouldn't Re-Enlist, and we ended on number 20, and we're gonna start on number 21. We're gonna go over about like 10 or 15 of them today. So, and they're pretty funny. They're great and very relatable. Super relatable. You're gonna be like, oh my god. You're gonna think Vilsec. This is exactly what happened.
Here you go. It's a 58-second video of a trailer that we can add. It's fucking hilarious.
Twitch has been.
I've seen this.
Oh yeah. You have. Did you think it was Pokemon when you saw it?
Literally, is like the first 5 seconds. I looked down. I'm like, that's fucking Eevee.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. That's what I thought.
We'll go through it.
Then right after that, 7 seconds. That's Gyarados.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's like.
That's going to be a fun one to talk about.
It's going to be a good one.
So Twitch has been in the news a lot because of their bullshit. So Twitch put out
shocker.
When aren't they in the news for bullshit?
When have we had a good article about Twitch? Like when was that last
never.
time?
Nope.
That's not true. But it's been a long time.
Twitch's TOS update bans everyone from multi-streaming on Twitch-like platforms. So this is a new thing that they've done to their terms of use and terms of service. For
TikTok and Instagram is still allowed though. They didn't change that.
That's because I don't think you can do it through OBS and shit.
You can't. They just don't see them as a threat.
I guess not. So we're gonna talk about that, and then the big one for them is the branded content changes that they were doing. But there was massive backlash, and it's the classic. We're gonna put out a shitty idea to see the reaction, and then we're gonna backtrack it if the reaction's bad.
Oh, that's not what we meant. That's not what we meant.
That's what they
Yep.
did, and they're like, "Oh, we didn't mean to do it like that. It wasn't. It was worded wrong, and all these other things. Damage control is what they're doing." So
I feel
they're
like Twitch is just run by higher military leaders. It feels like
probably, honestly, because like a lot of
with
these
the shit that
things,
they're doing.
a lot of the shit that they're doing, it's like, do you even listen to the creators' feedback on any of this shit, or and
Nope.
just come up with your own ideas? Because that's what it seems like. They say, "We hear you. What we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do our own thing." And it's just a fake way to make.
Question.
It's a fake way to make content creators think that they have a say when they really don't. I mean, YouTube isn't much better in ways, but they are a lot better with taking creator feedback than Twitch is. Even though YouTube does some pretty stupid shit.
Speaking of that, I mean, you're pretty well established YouTuber, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any type of representation or like content people to contact in regards of anything?
Oh yeah, no, I'm with a
Like
I'm
for
with
your
a-
channel?
I have a management company that we're all a part of. And like, if anything, happens like that, we just contact them.
How many people are in your
Like-
group?
Wait, is that from YouTube? Or that's just like something you do?
No, that's so I have my own channels, and then I have a group channel that I'm a part of called The Boys, and we have a management company that like manages all of us and stuff like that.
Is that separate from YouTube, or is that supplied
No,
by YouTube?
That's
Or
still,
provided
that's still
by?
YouTube. Yeah.
Okay.
But like whenever like if any of our shit has a like a problem, or like our videos get demonetized, like or like age restricted for some fucking reason, they have the that our management company can like actually get in touch with a real representative and go, hey, what happened, instead of playing the whole fuck game of being like, I followed your guidelines and TOS bullshit, why is this video age restricted? And then you get some like auto generated bullshit.
And half the creators or the partners on Twitch, I know that they're supposed to have some type of representative. They can never fucking get a hold of them, or they don't work there anymore.
Well, Twitch had that huge exodus, or not exodus, but they fired a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I remember that. It was like a year ago,
which was insane. Because like even though I stream on Twitch for fun, I literally started because I was like, hey, what if I wanted to do it for more than just fun? I was like, hey, there's a name on there called Your Narrator, and it's been inactive for 7 years. So I'm like, would it be cool if I got the name, because it's it's my brand, and they haven't been active for 7+ years. Could I do that? I finally, after a long time, got in touch with some friends of mine who are partnered on Twitch. I went and used their guy, and he was like, even if we got the name for you, changed it up, did all that stuff, it would take about 6 months. I'm like, for a name change?
That's crazy.
What do you mean?
Yeah, Kick is over here just doing it.
Dude, literally the moment that I heard Kick was a thing, just in case, I immediately went on the website, typed in Your Narrator, and grabbed it immediately. Just in case I switched to Kick just for fun or whatever.
But people have been able to do it though, because like larger creators have had that issue where they didn't do that right away, but because they're kind of that's them. Say like Tim the Tap Man, for example, if he were to go to Kick and be like, I kind of need this name, they're doing that.
Oh, they'll do it immediately. Yeah. And it's like, and that was the thing that like I still like to this day have a problem with Twitter, with when fucking, when he did that, when like all the people, like if you had a verified check mark, people knew that's who you were.
Yeah. Now it's pay to win.
Now it's just pay to win. And like, there's as soon as he implemented that new shit, I've seen so many different like Your Narrator, Your _ Narrator, Your Narrator YouTubes, all with check marks, and all those accounts have people commenting on them, thinking that I'm them.
We had the same issue with Regiment.
Yeah,
because there's a way to go through with that process, but it's still a process.
Exactly. So I'm just like, dude, what the hell?
I know,
because now I get random messages going like, hey, thanks for stopping by, or like, oh, thanks for Your Narrator sent me this message or whatever, and I'm like,
no, I
fucking know you. What do you mean? because now it's only a matter of, because it's also terrifying because now it's only a matter of time where like someone's pretending to be me.
Yeah.
And they
And
do
then like
some
legal
fuck shit.
things. Yeah.
And then I'm like, literally have no idea who you are. But then that becomes a whole thing.
And then
it's
now
like,
you got to think with the AI thing, right? So we were talking about AI,
Oh my
and like
God.
now it can replicate voices. Can
Mhm.
you?
Yep.
And somebody can pretend to be you and use AI.
And there's enough video of you too.
And have in video of you too, and then make an AI generated video or audio of you.
Yep.
Being like saying things that you wouldn't say, and there's like, and on a verified Your Narrator account that clearly isn't you, but nobody would know the wiser unless they really looked into it. Which let's be honest, 9 out of 10 people don't.
Nope.
And
So we didn't cover this, but this actually happened to a streamer very recently, like within the past.
I heard about that. I did hear about that one. It's pretty fucking. It's scary to think that people can just do that shit. You know,
I'll say that at least though, for your end at this point now, it sounds like you're doing very well for YouTube. Like like that's your job now. So you're getting the ins and outs of it. So at least you know your resources.
You're gonna have to
like when that stuff comes out.
You're gonna have to teach
exactly.
me.
I've got a whole team behind me, so I can just be like, I don't know.
I'm more afraid of like the people without those resources.
Yeah, it's gonna be, it's getting like, it's even to the point now where like you said, AI generator and as well as voice mods and shit like that are so prevalent and easy to get a hold of now. Like whenever I play video games, people just think I'm using a fucking voice changer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you all watch anime, right? Like, you know, voice acting's a thing, right? But no one even thinks about that anymore.
Tim the Tap Man. I reference him a lot. He's my favorite streamer. Love the large content, and he's hilarious. And his mod played this like voice thing for him, and it was his voice. He was just typing stuff in, and the thing would say it, and it even had like his inflection and everything. It was fucking freaky.
Yup.
You see it on TikTok with Joe Rogan.
Oh, dude,
he'll be one of the first people that'll get fucked from it.
I know.
Yeah, it was that. I even watched freaking one on TikTok. That's presidential Discord, and it's just Trump and Obama and Biden playing video games together.
I've seen this one. Yep, I know what you're talking about.
It's just stupid funny.
And it's funny because clearly everyone knows that's not really them, but it does sound like them.
Like, yeah, it's just like, and that's the kind of content that's like, that's okay, because like, you know, for a fact, everybody is in on it that it's not the actual presidents. But when people start,
it just actually goes down that road.
Yeah, start going, wow, I didn't know Obama was friends with Trump like this. Like, there's gonna be people out there that are gonna use that in like a fucking ad campaign.
Oh yeah, I mean, we went. I went to public school in America. We're not the brightest group.
Yeah, yeah.
And I also enlisted like an idiot. So clearly,
clearly we're not the brightest bulbs in the stack here.
Our community specifically, we're not the brightest guys.
No, but that's okay.
Regiment in this podcast is also proudly partnered with Stack Up. Stack Up is another military gaming organization. The one thing different, though, is that they focus mostly on the mental health of veterans as well as the betterment of veterans alike. One of the programs that Stack Up has is their STOP, or Overwatch program, which is a 24/7 crisis support line for veterans. The thing that sets Stack Up's Overwatch program above all other crisis support lines, including the VAs, is the fact that this 24/7 crisis line is operated by trained veterans. So when a veteran calls in crisis, they're not just talking to a random person. They themselves are talking to a vet that has also gone through something similar and can relate to the situation. Their trained staff in this Overwatch program will help a veteran find the resources that they need to find help. And if the person just wants somebody to talk to, the Overwatch program is great for that too. Another cool thing that the Overwatch program does is that you don't have to sit there and talk on the phone with somebody. If you feel comfortable just doing DMs, they can definitely do that too. Another really cool thing that Stack Up has is their air assaults. Air assaults are where they'll take a veteran and fly them to conventions all over the country. This includes TwitchCon, Comic-Con, anywhere in the US, all expenses paid. And if a convention happens to be somewhere out west in California, Stack Up has what's called a Phalanx House, which is essentially a gaming lounge for all veterans to just go to. Stack Up will definitely hook you up with that. They have pool tables, hot tubs, and just a place to stay if you're out west. It's pretty cool. Another thing that StackUp has is their supply crates. Now, what they'll do is they'll take gaming equipment, gaming consoles, and other cool swag and send it to either a veteran in need or a unit somewhere deployed or a unit that needs it. This is a great way to keep veterans connected and boost the morale of the veterans that need it. Every year, StackUp has a charity called the Call to Arms. The Call to Arms charity is to help StackUp raise the funds that they need for all the awesome programs that they have. Last year alone, they raised $625,000, and all of that money goes to keeping these programs going to help other veterans that need it. If you're looking to donate, we have the donation link down in the bio. But if not, go ahead and spread the word of this awesome charity and head on over to stackup.org and check them all out. That's stackup.org and tell them Regiment sent you. All right, so our first topic. So this OnlyFans / TikTok lady says money isn't everything, and she still misses the Army despite making lots of money after getting out. So a former U.S. Army soldier with a considerate social media following is now taking up the prone position for different reasons. What?
What is that
Excuse
mean?
me?
What did he say?
Who wrote these?
The audacity.
Popularmilitary.com apparently.
So
This has become one of our favorite sites.
I know.
Okay.
So Molly Putman, also known as Specialist Molly on TikTok, of course she would put her rank in her fucking.
Why?
Because
Why are you
people
proud
do
about
that.
being
See,
a fucking sham shield?
I can't
was a
say
sham
shit.
shield.
My
I was like,
whole thing is they call
I
me
was
Doc FMF.
I was an E5. I was a Soren. So Specialist Molly on TikTok has seemingly traded her military bearing for a modern take on the oldest profession in the world. Though the uniform still remains for some in her TikTok, Instagram content. So she's out still wearing her uniform in her content.
A lot of people do
Why?
that though.
I mean, like it's that's okay
If
as
it's a
long as you're
relevant
like
TikTok, yeah.
yeah.
So
It's
the
like,
the Army veteran who got out sometime recently has been busy on subscription-based adult content site called OnlyFans. I'm assuming.
no shit.
I like how they described it but didn't name it.
Hints across her social media imply that she had spent some of her time working on an aviation branch at Fort Rucker, Alabama, Fort Carson, Colorado, and is likely a native of the state of Florida. While in high school,
sounds like some Florida shit.
it 100% does. While in high school, she was a dancer who aspired to be on Broadway. It's usually always like a story of like, I have big dreams and aspirations, and now I'm a porn star.
That's
Now I'm
like
a
the
different kind
stripper
of dancer.
that's going to college.
Yeah. While some would say she probably fell short of that goal, she ultimately went for the life of the e-girl after the Army. It is unknown what prompted Putman to switch careers in such a drastic way, though she doesn't seem to have any shortage of business. When asked by a follower if she preferred the Army over a new career, she said, "Let's just say my current job makes me way more money, but I will say I miss the good times I had in the Army." Don't we all, Specialist Molly? Don't we all?
Yeah.
The petite blonde has nearly 6,000 Twitter followers and boasts approximately 8,800 and 59,000 followers on Instagram and TikTok, respectively. The content of this webpage may not be reproduced or used in any manner. Oh, this is a fucking.
How do you boast respectively?
I don't know. It's very interesting that they chose these photos here.
Yeah.
I just think my favorite part of this entire article is taking up the prone position
For different reasons.
Yeah, that first line, it got me hooked.
I know.
Wanted me to read it.
Don't you love those?
I don't read.
I don't read either.
I mean, that's a phenomenal writing.
So the former
Yeah,
U.S.
right there.
soldier with a considerate media following is now taking up the prone position.
But that's on her stomach, though.
You ever heard of prone bone, bro?
Yeah, but it's,
And it's funny. Why do they choose to use the "I'm hammered, blackout drunk on the stairs" photo?
is that what that's supposed to be?
That's definitely what that is. This doesn't look
Yep.
like the face of a sober human being at all.
No, there ain't no way. You see how her hair's all fucking matted and shit,
And her
Ain't no
face
way.
is just like sloppy drunk. That
That had to be still active duty days right there.
that I don't think so.
I don't know.
But it even
Dude,
says
stupid
that
shit like
her
that?
content, she still wears her uniform and shit in her content. So
But,
Oh,
Unless
here-
you look at
this
all
is-
four
this is her
photos, it's
TikTok
the
right here.
transition.
let me make sure that this isn't cranking volume into your ears. I don't want to blow your fucking eardrums. Specialist Molly on TikTok.
I bet.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
when you start talking to the new guy in the unit, but everyone tells him that you're the barracks bunny? What the fuck? That's her TikTok.
About to say, I think she was a barracks. I feel like I've seen that TikTok too.
You probably have, man. You probably have. I mean, your feed. I don't know what your feed looks like.
Your videos fuck up my feed.
I'm sorry.
So her whole thing is just, I miss being in the army.
She misses the good times. But the question is, what were the good times?
Yeah. What did she do? How long was she in? How long was she a barracks bunny?
Our old battalion.
That's what I want to know.
Our old battalion sergeant major, when I first got to the 173rd, his daughter was a barracks bunny while everyone was on deployment.
Shocker. Always the battalion major.
And his daughter was hopping around the barracks, and she was known for going from one room to the next room to the next room to the next room for the rear detachment guys while they were in Afghanistan. And he found out while he was there and sent her off back to the States while he was gone. We also had the new sergeant major that took over that was kind of the same way. It was a little bit weird though because his daughter was still in high school, and she was kind of like trying to get, not successfully as far as I knew, but she was trying to get with some soldiers, and he realized that was a problem and sent her back to the States.
Somebody fucking did it.
I didn't hear of any of that happening.
They're smart.
But it was just one of those things where
it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, and that's what happened. So
when you guys were in high school, did you ever have anyone that, like the girls that would boast about dating an older dude, like say someone that was in college or something?
Always. Yeah, there was, like, when I was in high school. Grant, how old are you?
27.
Jesus, you're a fucking baby. My wife is older than you.
By a year.
My younger brother is older than you.
Yeah, no, I'm a young buck, but
you a baby.
My little freaking super small town high school didn't have that shit, man.
I imagine small town isn't like that though.
I mean, I'm from small town, so less to choose from. But thinking about that now, that's like, what the fuck is this dude doing?
I know, like, that's the older you get, the more you realize how fucking weird it is. Like this girl in high school would be boasting about fucking dating a guy in college, and he's like 23, and
like
shit,
in some instances,
17.
you gotta think if they were in high school, like if he was a senior and she was a sophomore, that's more seen as acceptable because they're in school. But once he leaves high school, that's when they were like, "Whoa, what are you doing?"
I mean, it's still fucking weird though.
So fucking weird.
When I was a senior in high school, anybody that wasn't a senior in high school, and maybe a junior would probably be looked at like, well, you're the same as me. But sophomores and freshmen, when I was in high school and as a senior, I was just like, you're a child, get away from me.
Yep.
But it was there.
What? What do you mean? It was? Oh, there were some people that were, they were dating. Like
that's what I mean.
But it was still weird. The senior dating the freshman was always still weird.
Yeah.
That was always, it was still weird. It wasn't really like an acceptance. It was just like, everybody was like, what? Why?
Yep.
So another chick in the army, but this one is still in and talking shit about the army. And it looks like she's doing it in uniform too, which is a big no-no.
It's like none of these people read their social media rules and guidelines.
So while most Americans enjoy their Monday off work and took advantage of sleeping in, outdoor activities, and time with the family and friends, the day has a bit more meaning for those who have lost people close to them while fighting our nation's battles. Even those serving who have not fought overseas are reminded of the sacrifices of those who came before them, with numerous effigies and placards on installations, references in training and history lessons. It's hard to believe that anyone wearing a uniform in this great country would ever choose this sacred day to show their disdain for their branch of service and those serving in it. But hey, it's TikTok, and the opinions of military users do not represent the DoD.
So what happened?
This next paragraph we'll talk about it. Apparently, for those who want to use their uniform as a platform to build following as an authority on all things military, at least in the minds of non-military viewers, a blanket statement is enough to say whatever they want. One young soldier private, of course it is. Private.
Fucking course, it's a private.
Fucking young prides. So Private Veronica
Still
Garza,
fucking fuzzy.
who goes by bad.xx baby on TikTok.
Oh my fucking god. First of all, red flag.
Yeah, I know. Did just that on Memorial Day. Some of her posts feature what is commonly referred to as thirst traps and end up turning them into opportunities for her to marginalize men who show interest in them. Hell yeah, dude. But many of her posts feature her wearing a uniform with military hashtags that do not represent the DoD. So on Memorial Day, when she posted a video featuring soldiers serving honorably, shook her head in disgust at the end of the video. She wants you to know that despite wearing her uniform, it was just her opinion. This is
That's
a video.
not how that works.
That's not how that works.
Wait, hang on. What was the video?
That's why they tell us.
It's right
that-
above it.
That's why they tell us that we can't do and say certain stuff in uniform. And even when we're out of uniform, like we've always got to say, like, these are my opinions.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me.
How can I not?
Damn it.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I say your name.
Is this loud for you guys?
You solemnly swear. To support and defend.
Wait, I did see this.
The Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies. Foreign and domestic. And to bear true faith. And allegiance to the same. That I will obey. The orders of. The President.
Did you see that guy going Aussie style off the Blackhawk?
Yeah, off the fucking
Dude,
Blackhawk.
that's fucking wild.
President of the United States. Raise your right
And she
hand
just
and
fucking
repeat
shakes her
after
head
me.
at the end. It's like,
I state your name.
oh, you're wearing the uniform.
You solemnly swear. To support and defend.
Very, very confusion.
It is very confused. I could honestly like translate her shaking her head as being stressed about the day. Honestly.
Check out the last sentence on this article.
Hang on, that's what I'm about to do.
Oh, two sentences.
So it says, last we checked, U.S. military is still an all-volunteer force with many exit strategies for those who can't hack it. Based on the link to her Playboy account on her TikTok, which features exclusive content for followers, she appears to be working on another career already.
So she's done, is what I'm hearing.
Probably because she's not allowed to do that while on active duty.
No.
Mhm.
You cannot be doing adult content while serving. It is a big
Yep.
no. You cannot do that. That's bad.
So maybe she's just. Do you think she made that TikTok actually because she got caught and now she's like, oh, it's disgusting.
I'm
I have to
getting
leave."
chaptered. No.
It's always the ones that do stupid shit and then
Yep.
they're talking the most shit. Like, can we get some accountability?
It's
here?
always privates. And Grant, you've probably seen this. The TikTok lives of the dudes at AIT in their uniform
Oh
with
my
a fucking fat
God.
dinger in, and it's like I've seen the parody TikToks, and they are exactly how those go. Where it's just like, and they're just kind of sitting there, like, you know, like, what's your MOS? 13 Fox. And they just sit there quietly and they stare off,
Yeah.
and like down in the chat.
AIT is after boot camp for you guys, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember the good old days in boot camp and AIT when they fucking looked at you like you were stupid and went, "Oh, you think you're gonna have your phone? No,
I had my phone in AIT.
What? I didn't
Yeah.
have shit.
Granted,
In
listen,
boot
this
camp or
was
AIT.
boot camp. They kept the phones until Sundays, and then it was like it was a 2-hour window to call home. That was pretty much it. And then they took the phones away again.
Shit, I didn't have nothing.
But they took the phones away. The phones were mostly gone. Honestly, when I was on my phone, the only thing I did was I called my grandpa, and that was it. I never called really anybody else. I just wrote letters.
Mm.
AIT was different. Smartphones were not what they are now. And that was back in late 2011, early 2012. So I had an iPhone 4 going into AIT, and I didn't know how to use it. And honestly, like, we only had our phones when we were not in class and shit. So our phones stayed in the barracks. They were not allowed to be on us. They always checked throughout the duty day. But at the end of the duty day, you had your phones, but I didn't really use it for anything. I just used it for music, and I had my laptop. So there wasn't really, I don't know. It was weird for me because I didn't really like calling home much. So I just used it for music as an alarm clock, all that other shit.
Now people are just out here trying to do TikToks and shit.
I know people are doing TikToks and shit. It reminds me of the TikToks you see of dudes in prison. It's like, how the fuck do you have a phone? And now you see them in basic training. It's like, how the fuck do you have a phone?
Yep.
And apparently
then,
they're letting
no
them
matter
have
what they post, it's always like, hey, I got a great idea. Heaven forbid this post of yours blows up. Just take your name tag off.
Yeah.
It's funny. You ever seen the ones where they're wearing the drill sergeant campaign cover? You never seen those?
Drill sergeants?
No, they're privates, and they got into the drill sergeant's office, which is often attached to the barracks, and they're walking around with a campaign cover. There was a video, and Angry Cops covered this. There's a private at basic training that got a hold of his drill sergeant's campaign cover and was like fucking wearing it, and it got back to the unit, and that dude, wow, his life was hell because he went viral with that one. And everybody was just like, oh, my sweet summer child, you about to get fucked today.
You are done.
It is going to be a fucking bad day. To be a fly on the wall in that barrack. And on top of that, everybody else got fucked up with him. Everybody else got fucked up with him. Had to.
So he just walked in there. So none of y'all motherfuckers thought to tell him this was a bad idea.
Yeah, y'all didn't think to
too
stop
easy.
him. Got it. You're all in up shit creek without a paddle.
Too
now.
easy. Front leaning rest position move, dumbass.
Well,
The 8
Or
count
they got
push-up.
fucked up and he didn't, and just had to watch.
That's also a really fucking wild one where it's just like everyone's punished but you. So that everyone's
Yep.
going to fucking hate you. We had that happen. I've told this before, but I'm going to tell you, Grant. We had these because I don't know about your basic training, but we had male and female. So I was at Fort Sill, and we had male and female in our basic. And the female barracks were no shit across the hallway from ours. And there's these two that were always going off to church together on Sundays to kind of do their shit. And we kept getting absolutely destroyed for it, but they kept doing it. And I kept telling them, I'm like, dude, can you like keep it in your fucking pants until we're done? Oh, but I love her. They broke up. Spoiler alert.
What? Nuh-uh.
But
I don't believe
I love
it.
her.
There's only go to church and then commit sin, you fucking idiot.
There was only one couple that came to be after basic training where they ended up getting married and they had a bunch of kids and they're still together. So it does happen. It does happen, but it wasn't these guys. They kept, and they also kept it. They waited until they were done, which is the other thing. They didn't fucking do it because they knew we were all get punished for it. So they kept it, kind of like, they kept it, private and, didn't do anything until after.
Damn.
But these
privates with common
motherfuckers,
sense.
privates, they were older. They were in their mid-20s. They were like me.
Oh, okay. So actually had common sense.
Right. So, because when I joined when I was 23. I didn't join when I was 18. So I was the second oldest person there, which is crazy. But I was, so me being the second oldest person, like in your mid-20s, you have more common sense than like a fucking 18, 19-year-old that's going in where they're just thinking with their dicks. And so, yeah, they would go off and they would like fraternize at church and stuff. And then they would always be sneaking off together. And we were getting absolutely hammered with punishment because of it. And then they had to watch, and they had to watch all of us get fucked up. And we were just looking at them like, we're going to fucking give you a fucking soap party after this shit, dude. Like, we had to have a talk. We're like, dude, stop messing around with this chick and wait till we're done. We're literally like 3 weeks out from graduation. You can't wait. You can't fucking wait. And both of you are in the National Guard going to the same unit. You can't wait. You can't wait till we're done.
Yup.
I hate that shit.
I bet they were Catholic.
They weren't. No, they were. I don't know what they were. They were fucking. And then it got really funny because one went to Hawaii and the other one went to New York. So, and then they split. So,
Literally.
So we're gonna touch on the Summer Games Fest. So, bunch of announcements during Summer Games Fest. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is coming in early 24, which is, I think this is just a ground up remake. They've been doing that a lot with the Final Fantasy games, just redoing them, like complete remasters of them.
Some of them are reimagined.
Yeah, some reimagined. So there's that one. Spider-Man 2 finally has an announcement for the release date of October of this year. Finally.
Wait for that one.
I think it's going to be really
What
good.
do you like to play mostly? I forgot
I
to
played
ask
a
you
lot of
this.
shit.
You've been playing
I've been
Diablo?
playing a lot of Diablo 4
So
recently.
so have I. I've
a
been
lot of Diablo.
Diablo 4 is my first ever Diablo experience. So I've never played a Diablo game before it, and you want to know why? I honestly, and I know graphics don't make a game, but the graphics from the other Diablos reminded me too much of World of Warcraft, and World of Warcraft is just not my thing. Just the way that it's just too cartoony to me, and I'm like, you know, I like gritty games, and I know Diablo 2 is very gritty, but I don't know. I just there are games out there that I play that are cartoony that are just, but they're meant to be that way, and I know WoW and shit is too, but it didn't. For me, the way the game looked didn't match the tone. And it kind of turned me off of it. So it's like you're going through hell, fighting demons and just absolutely flaying everything in front of you. Meanwhile, it's World of Warcraft graphics. So to me, it was a turnoff. But now this one, because it's very like well done graphically, audio's great, gameplay is great. Like it's just, I enjoy it. It's my first Diablo experience. So, what level are you right now?
48.
I am 40. I actually think I'm the same as you. What class do you play?
Necromancer.
I knew you were going to say that. I play Druid. I started as a Barbarian, and then they nerfed the shit out of it. So I was like, I got to play something different. I like the Barbarian gameplay.
I started as a Sorcerer just because I like casting spells and shit. And then they were like, and now he's in the ground again. And I'm like, come on.
The Barbarian, I like the gameplay of the Barbarian because it's like the only class I've seen that has like super dismemberment with your attacks. And it's like the game, the way the Barbarian plays just feels satisfying and sounds satisfying when you're doing it. But now that they nerf the health of it and the attacks, where it's just like the Barbarian can't tank shit. At least early in the game, it can't.
Which is weird. Like, since he's like the biggest fucking, like physically the biggest dude, you would expect him to like be able to tank shit, especially since they don't have anything like a paladin or anything in the game yet.
I think they're adding one at some point.
Oh, they're gonna. They better.
The I know, because me being new to Diablo, I don't know shit about that class, but a lot of people are saying that the Barbarian's rough early game. If anything, it wasn't a nerf, it was a balance. So pretty much they like you have to like cater your build to a certain way in order for it to actually be as OP as it should be, instead of like just giving you like one build that was better than all of them. So they wanted you to have more build diversity, so they balanced it. It wasn't they nerfed parts of it to keep it balanced so that you can utilize other things besides the Fury and the fucking Whirlwind. Whirlwind was the thing that made it broken.
Yep.
But Diablo 4 is great. I'm
They'll probably make a running for
all I'm thinking about right now is like
year.
when I'm done with the graduation party after this, I'm coming home to play fucking Diablo. Anyway, so yeah, Spider-Man's getting released in October, finally.
I still need to finish Miles Morales.
This one is an interesting one because Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown is coming next year, which is I think it's a new game, a new Prince of Persia game.
Supposed to be.
It looked strange.
But the thing is, like, it looks like the game was designed to have this animation style, which is, it reminds me for some reason of kind of like Overwatch a little bit, or maybe even something.
In a sense.
So it looked like it was from the ground up designed to look like this, whereas the remake of Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, when the trailer for the remake came out, it looked like shit. It basically looked like they just polished up some old assets. It looks like an outdated game. This one looks like a complete build of something new.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with. Like, this looks good. Because this looks like this is the intent.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of 2D side-scroller kind of games. Unless it's like Mario.
Like platformers, just
yeah. So, but like this one look like graphically looks pretty good. Like the style that they're going for, you can see.
That was intended.
Reminds me of like I was supposed to be intended. But
they debuted a lot of mobile games.
Doesn't surprise me,
didn't they?
Speaking of side scrollers, Mortal Kombat 1. You see
It
anything?
looks pretty good graphically.
I mean, not even just
gameplay-wise.
graphically, but the gameplay, like you got the whole companion system where it's like they're bringing back like classic Mortal Kombat fighters, and you can use them as like a tag team to like complement your abilities and your fatalities and shit. And it looks pretty fucking cool.
Oh, yeah.
But then again, Mortal Kombat's always been one of those games where it's like, it feels like they can't mess with it, you know? It's Mortal Kombat's one of those fighting games where it's like it gives you exactly what you want every single time, even though that each game has is more or less the same. It's still really good and satisfying.
Oh yeah, well I mean that's just like the new fucking Street Fighter has actually been really good as far as reviews.
Yeah,
like, people have been loving that one.
It's weird because the new Street Fighter did something that the other ones didn't, which was 1, open world.
Yep.
And 2, character creation. Like, complete character creation where like there are some of the wildest fucking characters that you would ever see being created. And it's funny because you can literally fight anybody on the street. You can fight this old lady. Go up, you see this one guy fucking Hadouken a fucking grandma. It's hilarious.
It's great. Like I saw somebody play it, and he made his character. He gave him like 1 Sharingan and 1 Renegon, and then he was like, "All right, time to do what I've always wanted to do," and just like found like an old lady or like an old person and just beat the shit out of them.
It's fucking wild. I love that shit.
There you go.
Fortnite Wilds reveals a Transformers crossover.
Basically, it's the new season.
Basically, they're adding Transformers to Fortnite. That's all it is.
Yeah, Optimus Prime is one of the skins. I mean, honestly, is meme worthy as Fortnite is. They have a quality product, honestly.
Like literally, I would not play Fortnite for the longest time. The moment that they came out with like no building,
same.
Started playing Fortnite again.
It's fun.
It
really is.
like when there's no building involved and you just freaking shoot people and it's just skill. It's fun again, and like then I know like if somebody kills me in that game, it's like they're just better at aiming. I'm like, and then I don't get mad. But people who built like the Taj Mahal in like 2 seconds, I was like, what is this?
I hated that shit. That's why I never played it.
No punishment for going across an open field and just fucking Hilton right there. But they got a finished product. It's super polished, and they actually give a shit about their game. And then they get the whole Fortnite creative. It's insane. As much as they make on their store, which is much like every other game.
The Fortnite
they have a big focus on their store.
The
Fortnite creative to me, it's justified because they have a quality game.
Oh yeah.
And the creator mode is like, it's gonna be, I mean, you got Activision already looking down at the fucking creative mode, people creating COD game modes in creative mode.
Yeah.
And now Activision's like, we're gonna start sending cease and desist letters to them for this.
Honestly, Activision should be scared regardless because people are making games within Fortnite, like their own games within Fortnite off the engine. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like,
So Sonic Superstars is a new 2D classic Sonic game coming this year. Is that a mobile game?
They're just pumping out Sonic games.
Yeah, but the Sonic game that just came out not long ago was fucking bad. Like it just they had this open world concept. Yeah, the open world concept in a Sonic game. It just didn't feel right.
It doesn't.
Alan Wake 2 gets a gameplay reveal. You're into horror games, right?
Not super, but I have heard of Alan Wake.
I have too, and this has been a long time in the making. They've been
the first video of yours I saw when we were gonna have you as a guest was you playing it was a VR of you playing a VR, and it was like a horror game where you went the duck hunt.
Yeah.
And like
the fucking thing.
Dog came out of the game or whatever. Yeah, that was the first one I ever saw of you.
It was freaking that video where I was like, I don't think I'm alone anymore. This ain't good.
This feels wrong. I feel like I'm being watched. Do you ever accidentally hit shit with your VR shit?
Huh?
Do you ever accidentally hit shit when you're playing VR?
Not anymore, but when I was in my very small 1-bedroom half-bath apartment, I was playing a game with Molly once, and they had a thing where like there was chickens running around and you can punch them, and it would kill them. And so I chased a chicken up a hill and it like jumped up, it like jumped, and I freaking punched in the air, and my whole fist just went like almost through my monitor.
Oh my god!
So I was like, oh shit, my bad.
Beats
The new ones have like a parameter warning, don't they?
Yeah, the new ones do, yeah. But this was back in the day with like the very first Oculus Quest.
You break shit.
They had like a little line, but they still had the line and like the barrier shit, but I was like unless you got like right at it, it wouldn't proxy. So I was just like fucking chicken, and as soon as I was throwing my fist, the freaking lines went up, and I went no. I just punched my monitor.
Did you ever see Beats? I mean, you know Dr. Beats, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's been in our fucking staff meetings and shit. He like watches Discord on VR. So he's been really getting into the VR world. So he's like watching, like you just see the fucking the call, the Discord call thing, and he's like just fucking playing around with it. And he was just like, he was doing this thing where he was like spinning his monitor and shit. I'm like, dude, I can't watch this shit. It's fucking It's so fucking crazy.
When you're doing it, you're like, wow, I'm Tony Stark. But like watching other people do that, you're like,
you're like, oh man, that hurts my eyes.
Super disorienting.
Closest I've got is the augmented reality glasses right now.
Yeah.
Like the Ready Player One glasses from Apple.
Kind of.
Y'all see Apple's new VR shit?
That's the one I'm talking about, man. That fucking shit looks wild.
God. But I was like, I even with me having an iPhone, I'm like, I'm not about to spend $3,500.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Just to use my fucking iPhone through VR. Like what?
That's an Apple price right there.
That's 100% Apple price.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like,
same technology, but because it's got Apple on the brand, and they want to charge you more.
You know, like Microsoft or somebody's gonna come out with the same thing, but way cheaper.
Easily. 100%.
Steve Jobs is dead, so that company is not innovative anymore.
So Star Trek Infinite announced. Do you think that Darth Vader is going to be in that?
In Star Trek?
In Star Trek?
That was the joke.
Okay.
Every nerd is screaming.
I know. They're like, what did he say?
How dare you?
Star Trek Infinite. It was very interesting. A Star Trek game's coming out. This is probably just like a announcement trailer. That's what most of these are announcement trailers. John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. Wait, they're actually making a Toxic Commando game?
I don't know what that is.
I do. It's like it's an old thing. Sandland is an action game from Bandai Namco. Okay.
You can definitely tell
Pal
with
World
the character.
Pokemon, but with guns.
So, literally Pokemon with guns.
So I can't wait till we cover it.
I haven't seen this trailer. We're gonna watch the trailer before we cover it. So.
Freaks you out first, doesn't it?
Sorry.
Wait, I sent you the trailer.
Oh, you did.
The YouTube one.
All right.
To the Lazarus Project.
That's not what I wanted to do. Sorry for blasting your eardrums. So we'll watch that trailer in a second. So the Lord of the Rings Return to Moria is coming this fall because the last Lord of the Ring game did great, right? The Gollum game, Lord of the Rings Gollum. You played it, didn't you?
Nope. I know someone who did though.
Oh man, being called the worst game probably in the last decade, and it's bad.
Mm-hmm. You get a Lord of the Rings game, everyone's excited, and then it's just like, oh, it's only about Gollum. It's like,
I mean, it's in the title, Lord of the Rings Gollum.
I know, but it's just like, dude, like I feel so bad about the people who had to design that game, and we're like looking at them going like, so this is it. He just crawls on walls and
the worst part is like the development company put it out and they were like they fully thought it was going to be a great thing, but it was like, what? Not only is it buggy and broken, but it's boring. I was watching Skill Up do a review of that fucking game and I was like, dude, this game looks so boring. I'm bored just watching the gameplay. I can't imagine being sucked into that game and trying to fucking beat it. Most of the reviewers I've seen never finished the game.
No, because there's no point.
No, there was no point.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's just terrible. Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis was another fucking Final Fantasy VII.
I think this is the same thing.
Yeah.
New action RPG from the creators of Vampire called Banisher's Ghost of the New Eden. Baldur's Gate 3 introduced Jason Isaacs as a major villain. Baldur's Gate 3. So a lot of people have been hyped up for this game.
Hyped up for another Baldur's Gate. Yeah.
I never played Baldur's Gate. What's it like? Like, what would it be compared to?
Fuck, I haven't played Baldur's Gate in a long time. But if you like D&D kind like that kind of shit,
Okay.
you'd be kind of into it. But it's a it's got its own little twists and shit like that. But
There's so many more D&D nerds in the military than I ever thought there were.
dude, it's nuts. It's ridiculous.
Twisted Metal debuts on Peacock on July 27th.
It looks fucking good, dude.
I
The
honestly
trailer is
thought
pretty
I
badass.
thought the acting looks pretty fucking shit.
I didn't know they were making a fucking
They're making a show.
like an actual show about it, but dude, if they do it right, it would be hilarious.
Yeah, Anthony Mackie's in it.
The new Captain America dude.
Yep.
Marvel Snap getting a new competitive mode. What is that? Is that the?
It's a mobile game.
I was gonna say that sounds like
Whatever.
the Pokemon Go version of Marvel.
Yeah.
It's a card game for Marvel.
The new trailer for the season 4 of Call of Duty. Nobody gives a fuck about that.
Yep,
Path of
nobody
Exile
cares.
2. Oh, I did hear about the Path of Exile 2 gameplay trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was already out, honestly.
No, Path of Exile is already out. The second one's not out. Exo Primal is getting a Street Fighter 6 crossover.
Interesting.
I don't even know
Interesting.
what that is. Lies of P gate demo. Let's
Sure.
see. Netflix shares the Witcher season 3 trailer, which will be the last season with Henry Cavill in it before it goes to complete shit because it's already not doing good
Yep.
now. And now they decided to make fucking Liam Hemsworth the new Geralt, which I don't know how they're gonna fucking do that. But I am just I imagine no one's gonna watch it.
But you know what? Like, even though they lost him, Henry Cavill's gonna go on and do his fucking 40K shit.
I
So,
know. Hopefully it's gonna be good.
Yep.
We'll see. I imagine it will because he's a huge 40K. Speaking of 40K, Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 reveals co-op.
Yup.
Space Marine.
And it actually, like, I don't know fuck all about Warhammer, but this looks good compared to all the other Warhammer games I've seen.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
It's like, it looks like a Gears of War, kind of,
Yeah.
which
It's-
I'm excited for.
I really hope it's good. I really hope it's good.
Nicolas Cage coming to Dead by Daylight, which is
Yep.
fucking weird. I don't know why.
Kind of a weird crossover.
Is he
but
gonna
What
be-
is he gonna be? What's his blatant, almost damn near copyright infringement character gonna be?
It's him in it.
Like, I don't
Bro.
understand. Like, all of their characters are like on the line of copyright infringement.
But
I love how it says the infamous actor has also appeared on stage. He goes, Cage called Dead by Daylight a chance for him to branch out since he's never been involved in a video game industry before. He just looked at fucking at Cyberpunk and was like, sorry, bro.
I mean, I don't understand. Like, what? So he thought Dead by Daylight was the one to get to try?
A game that's almost 10 years old.
The game that has one of the most toxic communities I've ever heard or seen.
I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
I got to be honest. A lot of these games I've never even fucking heard of.
Is it cross-platform?
Yes, Your Grace, never heard of it. Witchfire, fucking never heard
Never
of it.
heard of
but
it.
Looks cool.
I mean, yeah, it does. Remnant 2.
Oh, Remnant 2? Okay.
I'm trying to remember what Oh, yes. Okay. I remember Remnant 1.
Yep. It was actually decent for a bit, and then it fell off.
It died off really fast. I remember that.
Yeah.
Saw the Under the Waves, and it looks like a cheaper version of Subnautica.
I was gonna say it looks like a Subnautica ripoff. Honkai Star Rail.
Yep. Freaking Black Desert, which I heard about for a bit, and then that's it.
Lysfanga. I don't even know. See, these are
There
games
you
I don't
go.
know. Fae Farm gets a release date. Throne in Liberty.
Okay.
Party Animals.
I want this. I want Party Animals.
Party Animals.
I want Party Animals.
I mean, it's basically Pummel Party and Gang Beasts.
That's
just-
what it looks like. It's a brawler type game.
It's just that with just like a little more revamped, like graphics.
I think it's technically isn't that already out?
they
I'm
had
pretty sure that's out.
they had a what's it called? They had a trial, like a demo for it, and like a couple content creators like Smitty did.
I was about to say I saw Smitty play it.
Yeah, he did a video on it, and everyone was like, "We fucking need this game to be out," and they were like, "Well, it's actually a trailer. It's not out for a while."
And
so
yeah, I could see why everyone was saying that the Summer Games Fest was pretty underwhelming because there's a lot of titles. I'm like, what are these? I've never even heard of
there's
this
a
shit
lot that
before.
I'm like, I have no clue what they are.
And a lot of them just don't even really. I mean, a couple of them seem really interesting, the new ones, but like for the most part, it just doesn't really seem like something that I would really be too interested in.
I mean, it's an independent game fest.
That's true.
It's
Yeah,
run by
I'm
Jeff
definitely-
Cayley. It's supposed to be replacing E3, which is now dead now. So
Well, you know what's not that wasn't at Summer Games Fest that was really announced recently though?
what?
The release date for 6 Days in Fallujah
Yes, yeah.
Oh.
comes out this month.
Which is surprising. That game,
Yeah.
coming out this month. They had no announcement date or release date. And now all of a sudden out of nowhere they have a release date. So we'll cover that a little bit on a different day. But I really want to watch this fucking trailer to this Pokemon ripoff. I'm really curious about this shit. So this is by Pocket Pair. This is the trailer for Pal World.
You on the IGN one?
The one,
On
whatever,
YouTube?
whatever one you sent me.
On YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god. What was that,
Yep.
Elekid?
That was Eevee and Gyarados. That was freaking Electabuzz with a gun.
What's up with the fucking Pokemon sheep at 50 cals?
It's literally a copy and paste of Pokemon with guns.
You got Flareon here cooking fucking shit in a pot. What is it really is Pokemon with guns? What the fuck is this?
Dude.
Like, what in the lawsuit is going on here?
Dude, what is this?
What?
These guys are ballsy.
Whoa,
We're doing this.
Whoa.
Like, look at that one. Come on.
The last one at the end is a fucking copy paste of one of those fairy type Pokemon.
Bro, you cannot tell. Go to fucking 48 seconds. You cannot tell me that that's That's not Lucario with the fucking Pokemon. Like,
1000%.
there's literally a skin in Pokemon Unite where it's literally Lucario with Egyptian stuff on. That's literally verbatim what that is.
What in the fuck?
They're gonna get fucking destroyed.
Like, these guys are ballsy.
What are the comments saying?
Oh
Looking
my
forward to the release of
God.
Pokemon Gun.
Dude.
The crowd at the end sounds so confused. I've been waiting for this game for years, and I'm glad that they're finally getting actual gameplay and not just trailer. What? Finally, Pokemon the American Edition. It's the whole "if you won't make it, we will" mentality, and we need more of this. So, Pokemon with guns, finally a Texas region.
This is the veteran version of Pokemon.
It's literally the thing where, like, again, I said it earlier. All the people who were like the game developers making this game, not a single dude in there was like, "This is just Pokemon. Like, we're still gonna get paid for this, right?" They're like, "Yeah. No, don't worry about it." Okay.
Dude, this
That's
is
when your
fucking
commander comes out and just
wild.
giggles.
Pikachu uses 120 by 570 millimeter NATO armor piercing, just discarding Sabo fin stabilized round. It's super effective. Pokemon Gun version. Let's see. This is.
I have a new flying type. It's called the A10 Warthog.
I know this fucking. And then here's some. So in this article, comparison to actual Pokemon. So we got this compared to Eevee. So first off, that's definitely Eevee with blue fur. It's not just my imagination. This is 100% Gyarados.
Yep.
This is Electabuzz, definitely.
Yep.
Shaman. This one is almost damn near 1-for-1. The Wooloo with the 50 cal.
Yep.
We got a Lapras with a
rocket
with a
launcher.
HIMARS
Yep.
system built onto it.
Yep.
You got Latios here. It looks exactly like it. This is crazy.
It's just verbatim Pokemon with guns, and I'm like,
That's why I love this article. It's like, how hasn't it been sued by them yet?
This is I can't believe that's like very
I don't
blatant.
think Pokemon. I think Pokemon was looking at it, going like, "There's no way they'll actually like make this game, right? This trailer was probably just as like a goof, and like now that's actually coming out, they're like, are they serious?
Someone call our lawyer.
So it's like, oh wow, they really are gonna make this
Get
game.
Gary on the phone. Hold on, this ain't. They're not really doing this shit, are they? Like they know how much money we have as in Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
No,
Fucking
Ain't no way.
insane. I cannot believe they did that. So
holy crap.
we're gonna move on real quick to our 159 reasons why you shouldn't re-enlist. And
Well, 20 more reasons.
well, we're gonna go over 20 more reasons why you shouldn't re-enlist.
Right.
So we left off
Do you mind
last
if I
time.
get my food real quick?
Go for it. Go
Yeah.
get it.
Awesome.
Ad time.
Regiment in this podcast is also partnered with BR Paradox. BR Paradox is a company that specializes in custom-built PCs. So if you have an idea for a cool custom-built PC, they can definitely give you the hookup on that. But if you're not in the market for custom PCs, BR Paradox is a wide array of pre-built PCs that you could choose from at great prices. And if you're not in the market right now for a new PC, BR Paradox will definitely hook you up with an optimization. Optimizations take around 10-15 minutes to do, and they're very awesome. I highly recommend them. I had my PC optimized by them, and it's never run smoother since. BR Paradox also has a list of renowned customers ranging from LeBron James, Chris Brown, members of FaZe Clan, and even Angela White from your favorite orange and black site, if you know what I mean. So head on over to brparadox.com to get yourself a PC today or an optimization. And remember to use promo code REGIMENT at checkout. That's promo code REGIMENT down here at checkout. All right, so our 159 reasons why you shouldn't re-enlist. So the last episode we left off on number 20 says hypocritical leadership on a systematic level. If there was only one reason why I'm choosing to leave the Army, it's this one. And that was what we left off on. Today, we are starting on number 21. If you forget your ID card, you can still eat. Talking about going to the DFAC without your cat
DFAC.
card.
True.
And it's like, we can't feed you because you don't have an ID. It's like, this is bullshit.
Like, how did I get on base? The fuck?
How am I here?
I know. I remember when we weren't having a lot of chow, like there wasn't a lot of numbers at the DFAC, so they started marching us to chow
Stupid.
in like Garrison. And we're like, all of us we fucking hated it. Number 22, if you make a legal fuck up mistake, you won't get charged and punished twice for it.
Not in the military.
So basically, like, not in the military, because they will charge you for whatever it is you did criminally on top of punishing you, like, administratively for it. Very common.
Easily.
Looking busy to look busy. I mean, but you know what? I will say this, even though that is a reason to get out, you will be doing that in the civilian world, too.
Yep.
I did that when I was...
what job you're at.
When I was a pipe fitter, when we were really slow, I looked busy to look busy just to keep my boss from yelling at me for no fucking reason.
Unless you work from home.
Unless you work from home.
Ha-ha!
Yes. So number 24, not being able to own a coffee pot out of fear of burning down brick and mortar built barracks.
True. Can't even have a fucking handle.
Ironically, in Italy, the newer barracks rooms had stoves. Electric stoves.
What, in the Air Force?
Oh.
I mean, there was 2 barracks buildings that had this, and only certain people, and they only let certain MOSs like do that. So the infantry guys couldn't go in there. It was all like the S shops.
But it wasn't a communal stove or kitchen, like on
It
one
was.
deck.
So what we had was we had the one barracks room, and the bedrooms where you slept were separate rooms. The common area was a kitchen and a shared bathroom. So yes, there were 2 people living in that one room, but they were separated by a door. So each room that they slept in had a door that you needed a key card to get into. And the other barracks were definitely just all one living quarter area. Like a fucking, like the only thing separating you and your fucking roommate that was jacking off at the corner was your wardrobe. That was it. So,
all right.
That sounds about military right there. So number 25, people who without the rank and structure would be Pulitzer Prize, who win Pulitzer Prizes for the Darwin Awards.
Dude, some people identify with their ranks so fucking hard. It's sad.
Yes, they do. They do. Like we were just talking about, it's always a fucking private. Of course it is.
It's their entire identity.
Without a rank or structure, they would win a prize for the Darwin Awards, because it's just like, how I can't tell you how many fucking Joes I had under me that I'm like, how are you not dead? Like, how did you make it this far without dying? You are the kind of person that would eat fucking paint chips and drink bleach if it weren't for the fact that you had somebody stopping you from doing it.
And then you got the Marines just doing all of those things.
We had a private. This dude joined the fucking army because his dad said he'd pay him $1,000 if he did it. And
this man is a whore.
This guy goes into the
cheap one.
He gets to our unit, and like, you being in Germany, you know that there's like a probation period of like, you can't leave base.
Yep.
This dude on his first day went to the brothel. He blew all of his money. He caught an STD. And this dude, like, this guy eventually finally got kicked out. We were trying to separate him forever. You know what finally got him kicked out? He pissed hot for drugs all the time. The only reason why he finally got the push to get kicked out was because he was in front of brigade smoking weed. And
is it the guy that didn't give a shit and was like basically trying to get the fuck out?
Yeah, he would tell like E7s and shit. Like, he would go to JAG whenever an E7 was like trying to tell him to do something. And then like he would. And they kept him in for an additional year, put him through like the fucking the ASAP program, the alcohol and substance abuse program, before they would even like put in any kind of separation paperwork. And my buddy was his squad lead. He was his fire sport NCO, and he hated this fucking dude because this dude was so incompetent that he just, you know, he not only did he not care, but he was like stupid. And finally, when he was in front of the brigade headquarters smoking a joint, and the brigade commander was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "What's up, sir?" "Smoking weed." And it was just like, get this fucking guy out of the army now. If it weren't for that, the dude would have been there for the rest of his enlistment. And then we were doing the fucking OE254 antennas? The radio antennas, the OE254? Yeah. We were doing a class on how to set that up and then break it down. And this dude looks over at one of the other privates, like, watch this. And he unclips one of the cables, and the whole OE254 comes tumbling down.
What the fuck?
He's like, "One, know how to take this down faster? Watch this." Unclips it and lets it fall. And we were just like, are you fucking kidding me? But yes, the Darwin Awards for these Joes is absolutely true. Do you have any stupid stories of dudes in your fucking unit? You were in Vilsec, you have to.
I literally had a private who turned the corner and ran into Sergeant Major of the Army, and
like with his car.
Sergeant Major Chandler or Sergeant Major Daly?
No. It was freaking. Oh my god, what was his fucking name? What was this guy's fucking name?
He was the Sergeant Major of the Army. Was the one that wanted tattoos banned?
Yeah. Oh wait, no, not Sergeant Major of the Army, but Sergeant Major of the fucking
Garrison
installation.
The Garrison Sergeant Major.
Yeah. So the Garrison Sergeant Major, but that just a big, like, probably around like 6'1", just big, super strong, like easily does 300 on PT score. Freaking black guy turns the corner, runs into him, tells him to watch where he's going, and he's just like standing there going like I'm wearing my rank today, right? Like, he knows who he's talking to.
Oh my god.
And I hear that and I'm like, no. And I turn the corner and the guy goes, "What?" And he was just yelling at this guy.
Who's your first line?
And he was just like, I turned the corner to hear my private when he asked him, "Why do you think he's doing push-ups?"
Oh, this was your guy.
Doing that. Yeah, this is my guy. And I turned the corner to hear him in a very clear and concise voice. The Sergeant Major goes, "Why do you think you're down there, huh? Give me a good reason why you think you're down there." And he stops doing push-ups, stands up, looks him in the eye, and goes, "Well, I just think you're a fucking racist."
Oh my he pulled
God.
that card.
Oh
no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. And he just looked at me, and I'm like,
I don't know what to do.
Knowing you about to get fucked up for his dumbass.
And he's just like, "Is he with you?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
He's like, "What unit? Where where's your NCO? I'm like, around the corner.
Oh my
He's like,
God.
Get him now. I'm like,
Yeah, Rob Sergeant Major. Fuck.
and I just walked over and I found my NCO, Sergeant Hamilton. And I'm just like, hey, Sergeant, I don't know how else to explain this, but you ain't going home today. And he's like, what? And I'm like, you know who it is? No.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Sergeant Major's asking for you. Okay, I'll be there.
Dude, we had the Sergeant Major of the Army in Italy. Sergeant Major Chandler of the Army, not the garrison, the Army.
The Army. Mm-hmm.
He was in the fucking gym, and and I will say this, that Sergeant Major Chandler was not known to be liked by anybody. He was the guy that was trying to do the tattoo ban because his wife said to do it.
Oh, God, whatever.
Do you remember when the tattoo ban was being pushed?
Yep.
It was this guy pushing it.
Can't relate.
So he shows up on base. He's at the gym. He walks up to like this guy that's like working out. He's like, the dude's mid set, taps him on the shoulder.
Yeah.
He pulls out his headphones. He turns over to him. He's like, what would you do to improve the PT of your soldiers? And he's like, I don't fucking know, dude. Puts his headphone back in and starts working out again.
Yeah,
and
he's
then
like, I'm mid-lift.
and like on top of that, the dude was out of uniform. Like the sergeant major was out of uniform. And then he called like the whole fucking unit to like a formation to say, you don't know who your chain of command is and stuff, and making a huge rant. It's like, well, one, you interrupted the guy mid-set. Two, you're out of uniform.
Yeah.
Three, everybody looks different in person.
Yeah.
It's hard to distinguish. And I noticed this. It's hard to distinguish in a way. Like there's a familiarity, but you don't know. You can't really tell if it's for sure them or not, or if it's who you think it is, or you don't know. You're like, I know this person from somewhere, but who is it? And
yeah.
so it's like he was expecting everybody to recognize him right after that, and
Yeah.
it was a huge shit show. Anyway,
It's like when someone gets like over 1,000 followers on Twitter and they're like, you don't know who I am. Shut up.
it's one of those things where it's like, I don't recognize you because I've only ever seen you on camera or on a picture.
Yeah, but still,
and
you're
I get
not that fucking important.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man.
26.
So number 26, cops are cops, but they're but they're a damn sight better than MPs. Absolutely. We had airborne MPs in my unit for a little bit. We had these MPs that wore the maroon beret because most of our MPs were just legs. And these guys, we call legs that are not an airborne personnel, we call them legs. But then we had the airborne MPs show up for a little bit, and these guys wore berets, and they would fucking stand around with their thumbs in their belt, just kind of like staring at you. They looked so douchey. And my buddy got pulled. I was in the car with him. He got pulled over driving on post in the middle of a storm, and it was a bad storm. You couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
And
Was he going 26 and then 25?
he was going slow because he couldn't see.
Yeah.
He was going like 5. He gets pulled over by the MP on base. By the way, because Camp Ederle is a very, very tiny base.
Mm-hmm.
And the MP is like, did you not see that stop sign back there? He's like, dude, I can't even see. He's like, so why are you out right now? And he's like, I had to go to the commissary.
Yeah.
And he's like, why are you pulling me over? He's like, well, you know, I noticed you turned after that stop sign. And he's like, and?
Yeah,
and
no
just,
shit.
Just like making him stop in the middle of the storm. It was like the dumbest shit ever.
It was clearly
MPs are
bored.
morons. So number 27, days off don't require your boss's boss to approve them.
Oh my fucking God.
Yes.
That's facts.
Ooh.
Yeah,
It's the worst.
Facts.
This is the fucking worst. Like you have to send it. And then on top of that, it's like the day is approaching of when you're supposed to be off. And you're like, why is my leave not approved?
Why is my leave packet not approved? And the guy's just sitting there with a stamp like,
I'm supposed to leave next week.
Or my all-time favorite, S1 lost it. You got to fill it out again.
Oh my God.
Electronic. Suck my ass.
Number 28, mandatory group PT, all because some individuals do not have the self-discipline to maintain their physical fitness. Want to hear a kicker? It's supposed to increase morale.
This is like one of the biggest ones for me. Like on it, of all the things that I hate, it's this one. I fucking hate group PT.
Or my favorite, have a brigade run only to zonk everybody. That happened. Like they called everybody to brigade and then zonked us, and then 1st Battalion was trapped on base because we weren't allowed to drive there. We had to take buses. Number 28 or 29, being an adult and having somebody inspect me every day to make sure I put my clothes on properly, to put my shoes on the right feet. Number 30, having to wear a cover or hat every time I want to go outside. Number 31, without the military's influence and good teaching, I would never have realized that you can sweep water with a broom for hours every time it rains.
Yep.
Go to the motor pool, sweep them rocks, sweep the rain.
Have you ever mopped in the rain?
Raked rocks and
we
shit.
all know it's a punishment when they're making you do it. It's not because it's logical.
Fucking police call.
32, there just aren't that many jobs out there where you can rest assured that everyone you work for is just waiting to screw you over at any possible turn.
Yep.
33.
Especially if you're in competition.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 33, sleeves, boot blouses, a clean shave, and a haircut are valued more than any performance or attitude ever will be.
You're damn straight.
Doesn't matter how fucking amazing you are. You come in one day. You're not fucking shaved today? What kind of piece of shit are you?
You just don't like dry shaving? No, that's fine. Figure it out.
Number 34. If I got out, I would surely miss the idea of waking up every morning to a day of mandatory, irrelevant nonsense that doesn't pertain to anything regarding my actual job.
Oh,
it's my literal pain. Every fucking day.
You joined to shoot shit and do cool guy stuff? Unload this fucking Connex, you nerd.
Or go to this class. That was also one of the earlier things where you have to go to this class of how not to fucking, don't sexually assault people or kill yourself, and you spend a whole day doing that.
Sharp class, dude.
Sharp classes.
So
I don't know if you were in during the Sharp stand down day.
Yep.
When they stopped all training to make everyone watch this video.
Yep.
And go through class, like all these classes throughout the day, and it was just like, bro, we really.
So
what?
I was in when Don't Ask, Don't Tell got repealed. The dumb ass fuckery that went down at those briefs, because nobody cared.
No, they don't.
All the people that were like, no, we haven't cared for a long time. But the awkwardness and the stupid fucking questions that got asked.
Yep.
And it's always like it's like any questions, and everyone's looking around like nobody better have any fucking questions. And there's always that one guy.
If you have a question, I'll fucking freak out.
No questions.
Someone asked, they're like, yes, so you can suck dick now? And I'm like, are we here? Were we here right now?
It's so stupid. People say the dumbest shit, and then it's like, you're making this last longer than it needs to be. Please stop.
Literally, it's literally just like after that happened, like three out of my NCOs were literally just looking at me like, all right, so we have to apparently go over what we watched to make sure you retain the information. And he looked at me and goes, hey, Grant, tell us the course really quick. And I was like, don't sexually assault people. And he goes,
summarize
congratulations, you did it. All right, everyone go home. Like, it was it's not hard.
No, it's not.
Still do stupid shit. And I'm like,
always will too.
Why? I don't get it, man.
I don't either.
This next one though.
This next one, endless, fluffy, generic speeches from sergeants major and individuals with the rank of lieutenant colonel or above.
Just to piggyback.
Yeah, just to piggyback off the commander and then just repeat the same exact fucking thing the other guy said. That's my favorite.
All right, everybody, it's a safety brief for your weekend. Don't add to the population. Don't subtract from it.
I know. Don't add to the population. Don't beat your wife. Don't beat your kids. Don't beat your dog. Don't beat your neighbor's dog. Blah, blah, blah.
I loved our fucking safety briefs from like our like E5s if they ever had to do it, because it was just funny. They'd be like, all right, the whole don't add, don't subtract, all that bullshit. Have a good weekend. If you end up in jail and we can't get you for some reason, establish dominance quickly. Go for the jugular or the balls. They're guaranteed they won't be able to fight back afterwards.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be there within 20 to 48 hours to pick you up. We won't say anything, and hopefully we can just go about our day and do BT in the morning on Monday. All right, Roger.
Number 36, rank has its privileges, quote unquote. A slap on the hand for doing something that would result in a termination or severe punitive action for someone of a lower rank. Look at the misconduct of general officers during the last 9 years for numerous examples. We had that. Our garrison commander got pulled over for a DUI by the MPs, and they were going to let him go home until he fought them. And then he got in trouble.
Yep.
Facts on facts.
And
on
it was.
facts.
Do you see this rank right here? Do you even know who I am?
Do you
went
know
to
who I am?
college. I went to college.
It's so bad. Like, and we had that and our chain of command got GOMAR'd for a lot of things because they were doing
the fuck
shit.
Is GOMAR'd?
General order of reprimand, where a general writes you. It's basically you're being fired and you're not allowed to. So like if a lieutenant colonel gets it, he'll never get a full bird with a GOMAR. He'll have to finish his career as a lieutenant colonel. And they were taking TDY and going on vacation. And saying they were going off to training, and they were actually going off on trips to a wedding and shit.
If we're not doing anything and I happen to go home one fucking day.
Yup.
Where the fuck you been?
Been in my room.
My work was done.
Number 37, not having to eat meat that comes from boxes labeled for institutional use only.
That's so true.
I saw your MRE video.
Yeah.
Did you give him the fucking veggie omelet?
Fuck yeah, I did.
They don't make that anymore.
I didn't, because I was watching it.
I gave him the what is it? Like the vegetarian fucking. I gave him one of the veggie ones because I hated those.
Everybody hated those.
You know they have a pizza one now.
They have a fucking pizza one now.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Nuts. It's not bad.
Really.
It's one of the like it's, as far as like unhealthy shit for you to eat, it is like the golden ticket of unhealthy shit for an MRE. It had what is it? It had the pizza, it had Skittles or M&Ms, it had the jalapeno cheese and breadsticks if you wanted it. It came with a chocolate protein shake. I was like, what the fuck, bro?
So it's the new Chili Mac, essentially.
It's essentially the new Chili Mac, which I made sure for the video I saved the Chili Mac for me.
I think Chili Mac was overrated.
You gotta give people that are trying the first MRE. You can never give them the good one. Never.
No.
It's like the standard you have. And by the way, the gum thing is a myth.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not real. It's not real.
Shit.
And Doc even says correlation
people
is not
would
causation.
just do it.
My placebo effect was in full gear.
Everybody's was
100% what it was.
But you were
100%
correct.
what that was.
You were correct. You eat this MRE, you're not gonna be able to shit. Like it's
cool.
gonna be fucking like I remember eating like the.
It's designed that way.
The MR, it is designed that way. And when you do finally shit, it's like orange and balls, and it's terrible. And it's the hardest shit you'll ever take in your life because it's just fucking solid when it comes out.
Yep.
So. Let's see, number 38, getting a random, quote unquote, drug test every couple of weeks and being randomly, quote unquote, picked for every test for almost 2 years straight. Not many people could testify to taking around 50 drug tests in the past 2 years without having ever been caught doing drugs in their life. And this is true. We had 100% urinary analysis because I'm sure you heard about Second Bat at 173rd and the heroin ring.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. Where the fucking dudes were dealing heroin, and we had guys in our unit overdosing on heroin, and then the carbonary came through with drug dogs, and we had 100% UA every day, and we had 100%, and then we had fucking health and welfare inspections every day. So we had a barracks inspection every day to come like look for drugs, and a piss test every day for 100% piss test.
Random then.
It wasn't random because at that point it was just like it's going to be 100. It's either has to be completely random or 100%. But they wanted to see who was doing and who was dealing, so they had to fucking make it. Everybody's getting it.
I used to believe this shit that was like random until I am now the person that pulls these fucking numbers, and
it's not random at all.
Some people, no, it is 100%. I don't get to choose names when I go into the system. I can either put a percentage of people to be pulled that are in my unit. So if I want 5% out of the 30 people in my unit, or I can say I only want 3 or 4 numbers. So 4 people out of those 20, and it'll be like, here you are. These are who's going, and it just generates it. And I've had to do it. I've done it with people watching me because some people literally just get the luck of the draw, and they've had it like 3 out of 4 fucking times.
There's something about how it's not random. I think it goes to like in some kind of weird order.
It's RNGesus.
It's something because aside from the 100% that everybody had to do, getting randomly selected for a piss test for me, I can count on one hand how many times that happened.
Mm.
And then
Like, I legitimately cannot pick a name.
no, you can't. You're not allowed to. It has to be random.
No, but I mean, you don't even have the option.
No, you don't have the option.
It's not possible. You either have a percentage or a number, and that generates the names from there.
Yeah, for me, like, I got selected for a piss test probably 3 or 4 times in my entire career, both active and guard. If it wasn't the 100% that everybody had to do it, and then when I was on the guard, it was even less because I was I had to be the spotter because I was the NCO. So I had to watch dicks. I had to watch people pee in these cups. And my first fucking one was like, Sergeant, I'm so sorry, but I have to poop. And it's like you had to.
And you're like, what do you mean?
You have to
watch the urine leave the body.
You have to sit there and watch them take a shit and pee in the cup at the same time.
Yeah, and you're like,
or they have to wait. One of the two.
And they just look at you and you're like, Sergeant, I'm so sorry. You're like, shut up. Just do it. I don't look at me in the eye when you poop. Don't do that.
You ever had those people that just pull their pants down all the way?
Yeah, my brother did that.
Oh my god,
my brother did that to be funny because he's like, okay, you're gonna look at my ass too.
Yep.
So so this one right here is a big one. Number 39, doing nothing all day and then cramming 20 different tasks in the last 20 minutes, making you stay until some excessively late time as a result. Who does that in a civilian world? It would get you fired. Can't tell you how many times where it's like we have all these tasks that we were supposed to do. We did them all. And then the rest of the day is like, what's the next task? Nobody knows.
Hurry up and wait.
1700's coming around for closeout. Guess what? We have 15 different things that need to be done before close of business today. And then you end up staying late as fuck because it's like, why didn't you tell us to do this earlier? And then the last one that we will discuss is the waking up every morning and going to a quote-unquote staff meeting where a piece of paper is read to me even though it's posted on the wall or in one of the hundreds of emails received on a daily basis, both of which I have access to. I guess I can't read.
To be fair, most people don't fucking read their emails.
No, they don't.
Nope.
They do not.
That's true. That is true.
Man,
especially if you're in a job that is supposed to check emails frequently. Even less so. People are not checking their emails. I have 20 people in my unit, and my junior guys are like, when did this get passed? Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Like, we've only been posting about this in the emails for the last 3 days.
There was 4 of y'all in this email. The fuck? How did you miss this?
No,
I got the read receipt. The fuck are you talking about?
No.
They just opened it and then closed it, not thinking it was important.
That's why I have read receipts.
Yeah.
We might have to actually skip these last 2 topics because I got to go.
That's okay.
I have a graduation thing to go to.
Oh, that's right. You had your graduation shit.
Not mine. It's my cousin's. It's a graduation party, and the whole family's
okay,
there.
yeah,
And they're like, oh, is Brock coming to this?
Is it a significant graduation?
High school.
Oh, nobody cares.
Oh,
it's not a really crazy one. It's
guess what? None of this mattered.
I know.
Congratulations.
Now you have to do.
I can't wait to tell my cousin's son, like, guess what? Life starts now, and you're gonna hate You're not, and they're gonna be like, I miss high school. It's like, I promise you, you're not. Your 10-year graduation. I remember going to my fucking 10-year reunion.
You don't miss it.
My 10-year reunion was like, I left after a half hour because like people were like, oh, I remember you. I'm like, I never talked to you in my fucking life. What do you mean you remember me?
There's literally like, this year was supposed to be my 10-year anniversary to go back and do that shit, and I'm like, I haven't received an email, haven't received a phone call, nothing, and I'm like, couldn't care less.
It was.
I was lucky. Mine was
the same for me.
Supposed to be when COVID happened, so I legitimately had an excuse.
Oh, well,
and you find the absolute entitlement from the fucking class officers too, because like our class, we were gonna do this thing at this one place, and it was gonna cost each person to go over $100, and food and drinks were not included. And you couldn't bring a +1. You had to pay for your +1 too. So not only did you have to pay to go, you had to pay for your +1 to go. Then you had to pay for food. Then you had to pay for drinks because it wasn't an open bar. And it was like, so ultimately, I'm going to be spending like several $100s on this to see a bunch of people that I haven't fucking talked to in like a decade.
All a high school reunion is there's a status of
I know.
like who's doing well and who's not.
And it's funny that you say that, because as soon as people were like bitching about it, which is rightfully so, the class president was like, was supposed to be flying in from Germany for this, and you guys are gonna act like this is such a big deal. You guys are so fucking like so cheap and stuff, and then people were commenting, well, I guess we know who made it after high school and who didn't. I'm like, listen, and then I was like, listen, bitch. Not everybody wants to spend a couple $100s to see a bunch of people they don't even give a fuck about. So it has nothing to do with can I afford it? It has everything to do with should I go, because I don't care.
Is it worth it? Like if it, and it's, I feel like it's hard to make it worth it or even interesting. Maybe if you're like a super small high school, I can kind of see it. But if you're a big ass high school,
yeah, and then when they did have it at a different place, because all the people that were trying to set it up ended up not going, I go there and I'm like, who the fuck are any of these people? And then I left.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
everybody looks different. Yeah.
And then you had the people that set up were pretending to know who you are, and it's like, oh, you were so funny. I'm like, who are you?
Yeah, it's like, I don't remember ever talking to you.
I don't even know you. And in high school, like, I remember seeing you in high school, but I never had a fucking conversation with you in my life. Why the fuck are you pretending that you know who I am? You're just trying to be like artificially
I was severely
friendly.
bullied in high school, and then ever since I got decent numbers on YouTube, I had fucking all kinds of people.
Oh God, I
hitting me
can
up.
only
And
imagine.
I'm like, like, fuck you.
You have these people that want to be like put in the spotlight because of
your success.
Not even just that. It's just like they know you by association. And it's an association that you don't really think about or remember, but they do, because that's all they have to fucking hold on to. It's the peaked in high school mentality where it's just like, oh, you're big on YouTube. I went to high school with you. Don't you remember? It's like, no, I don't. Can I be in one of your videos? No, you cannot. Like, why?
You didn't matter then. You don't matter now.
Yeah, and then they have the audacity to look at you and be like, wow, you changed. And you're like, you're damn right.
First of all, you don't even know what I was
That
before.
is my favorite.
Exactly.
That is my favorite. Wow, you changed. It's like, yeah,
And you're like, you're
you
right. I
should
did
change.
I'm better than you.
You should change after fucking high school, because this isn't high school anymore. And I don't talk to you. So why the fuck would I even want you in my shit?
Yep.
Why would I want to give
best
you a
statement.
platform for the sake of giving you a platform? You know what I would do if it were me? I'd be like, oh, yeah, cool. Okay. And then just watch them bomb. Just watch them bomb on it. And then just kind of look at them like, it's fun, isn't it? You like
Make
it?
it a spoof.
You're
Just
great.
make it a spoof video.
And just make a
God,
video
believe
of like, just give them the spotlight and watch them choke on a fucking bag of dicks, and just like make it a point and be like, it's not as great. This isn't as awesome as you thought it would be, is it? No, it's not. You have nothing to really say. You're making it really awkward right now. And it's just like one of those, if me being the asshole a little bit, I would do some shit like that. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. Let's see what you can do. And then just watch them like not be able to, and just watch the whole reality set in of like, I'm only here because I wanted to be on YouTube, not because I brought anything to the table, and then watch them realize it.
It's just like looking into the camera the whole time, like,
And it's just like,
interesting story you got going on there.
Oh, it's pretty neat.
just make themselves look like a complete ass. And then just make something out of that. That's me. I'm not telling you to do that shit.
Yeah, thanks.
It's
for-
2023. They would
thanks
come
for,
after you for defamation.
Yeah, super glad you're on. Really quick, I only have one rule here. We don't talk about our time in high school. Go.
Shit.
So what did you do?
I got nothing.
What are you doing with your life now? What like,
Existing.
it's like, so after high school, we said no high school talk. So
This conversation is painful.
What did you go to college for? What's the army like? Did you kill anybody? And it's just like, oh my God, here we go.
Oh my God, get the on my podcast, bro.
I'd rather talk about the weather.
I'd rather talk
and
about
slam my dick in the fucking door.
I'd rather shit in my hands and clap than have this conversation. This fucking, it's just, it's weird. It's weird and it's funny. And it's, like I said, I can't imagine. I'm sure you've had people like that, where they're just like, they just want to be on your channel just to be like, because your platform is larger, and they just want to be there, and they bring nothing of value.
Well, we're glad you brought us some value, and we're a guest on the podcast.
Would you be opposed to be doing this again?
No, that'd be fun.
Hell yeah. There's more that I want to talk about. I just fucking, ran like we've been on this for almost 2.5 hours.
Jesus.
It's pretty average when we have a guest.
It usually like it goes by fast, and you've been on longer than you realize. That's also a good thing. It's how you know you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
That's why we're the host, though.
Yeah.
we make it go fast. It's like
That's what
that
my girl
moment
says, too.
when you hype yourself up to your girl, and then it ends up being like 30 seconds, and you thought it was longer, and you're just
Yeah,
like,
you're
I was like,
How was it for you?
the hype up is longer than the
she's
actual.
knitting a sweater. You're like, oh.
She's just staring at you, dead face.
Well,
I'm still trying to find out.
Grant, we're glad to have you on, man. Everybody go check out Your Narrator on YouTube. We'll put your Twitch link in here too if you want us to share your Twitch. You also on TikTok and stuff?
Yeah, but I'm really bad at posting on there.
I'm the same way, dude.
It's been all like mainly the boys content.
So I take it you're like heavy in the YouTube shorts.
Dude, I haven't posted a single one.
No,
I
really?
need to. Everybody's been telling me the YouTube short game as actually
Significantly,
honestly,
especially if you're already a YouTuber, it just boosts you so much more.
I kind of figured you would have more. You'd be a lot more into the shorts than on TikTok because the platform is already there. All it is just formatting the video.
I really need to fix it, but yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
it's not like you're hurting.
It's not like it's not like you fucking are like, hey, if I don't do shorts, then things are gonna go bad. No, you're doing great, man. You're doing great things. Your shit's funny as fuck too. You also have a great voice, and I know why you call yourself a narrator.
Thank you.
You have good. Yeah, people tell me the same thing. Like, you have a good radio voice. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't hear. I hear myself, and it sounds normal to me.
Yeah,
Sounds illiterate,
and that's the.
What did you say?
I said it sounds illiterate, but
listen, man, dyslexia is a disability, okay? Fucker. But yeah, so it was awesome having you on, man. We'll hit you up about getting you on again.
Awesome.
Like the video.
Yeah, do that.
Like the video, subscribe to the video. Go to your narrator on YouTube, subscribe to his channel, like his videos, enjoy the content. It was great having you all here. It was great having you on. Have a good rest of your week. So yeah, love y'all and appreciate y'all. Have a good one. Grant, you have a good rest of your day and a good rest of your weekend. Guys. Later, Doc. Love you guys.
Bye. Later, guys.